Hey sheeples, this is Z, and I'm super excited today because we have a really cool person chatting with us. And by the way, my other sheeple, what do you call today? Or is it back to 1000
Hello,
minus 7?
sheepers. So today I kind of like sticking to the theme. I'd love to be called Talon. For
Whoa,
and
Oh,
making it relevant.
Yep, and you just heard the woe from one of our really dear friends in the at least for the podcast as well. And I've known this guy for a while now. You can see his work like really cool stuff like on his profile, which is Darth Mulga, and I've
To be honest, he's
honestly like
having the kind of conversations everybody should be having.
yeah.
They are titled uncomfortable and they will make a lot of people listening to it uncomfortable. They certainly made me
Yeah.
uncomfortable because I realized that there are many important conversations that we avoid just because of convenience. So, if out of all his arsenal, my personal favorite is the one on climate change and is nature really healing itself? I mean, as a millennial, if you're listening to this, I think it's your moral responsibility to be aware of everything, and I think his episode does a damn good job. It has an awesome climate change activist, like a real person, not like an internet person that just exists virtually, but like a real person. And you have to check it out. Yeah, hats off to you for doing stuff like this.
Honestly, so yeah, like if you've already not guessed, we've spoken about this guy on our stories as well. Do check him out. His whole profile is Darth Mulga, and his podcast is called Let's Get Uncomfortable. So take it away, Mr. Darth Mulga.
Whoa, hype him up.
hello, hello, sheeples.
Go for it,
Nice
Abhishek. You
to
you
hear
want
y'all. It's like a crossover, guys. Like, what are we doing? What are we speaking about?
to podcaster collaborating with podcaster, like
It's the
podcast with
biggest
podcast,
crossover event of podcast history.
कोई
podcast
स्पॉन्सर नहीं
septing
करेगा तो हम लोग को
inception.
Oh yeah.
क्रॉसओवर भी करना पड़ेगा. कोई
No, but
स्पॉन्सर नहीं करता है तो क्रॉसओवर ही करना पड़ता है सबके साथ.
like
Yeah, these are the only kind of collabs you're going to see on this channel. Okay, we're not the other kind of content creators, but yeah, just kidding. We want to talk about something really relevant.
I didn't even catch that for a moment. Why?
Ekdam ऐसे like under below the belt, like
Below the
maybe
belt.
influencer. Yeah. So we're going to talk about something extremely relevant today. Something that I, as a person, am very objective and unaware of. But these two sheeples are super into it. So without further ado, do you want to get into the meat of the matter?
Right. So, well, let me just start off with like if y'all already didn't guess it with me saying my nickname is Talon this week. There's something really big that happened over the weekend. And like it's one of those things that like we did not expect it to be this cool or like expect it to be this immersive. But DC fandom is something that DC Comics kind of came up with, and oh my god, oh my freaking god,
I
like
was
it was so
tripping.
good.
I literally was tripping. Like I woke up in the morning and I'm checking all my notifications and like DC is blowing up everywhere on my notifications. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah,
I'm like, I forgot about
exactly.
fandom happening, but in the morning I woke up, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Like honestly, I had planned, and just for y'all to know, this was like a live stream kind of event that ran on for 24 hours. This was like it wasn't new panels throughout the 24 hours. It was a repeat every like few hours because they wanted to do it on a global level so that everybody who can genuinely go and watch this whole live stream event and get to know what's going on. This was basically a pseudo like replacement for Comic Con.
Comic Con, yeah.
Yeah, like with COVID and everything, it's unfortunate that none of this can actually happen or take place in person, and the whole Hall H thing where
Just for
things
others
get
like me,
revealed.
when does the Comic Con happen in India? Is it like synced with the worldwide Comic Cons?
It
No,
happens. No, it happens in December, November, December
yeah,
somewhere.
All right, okay, which is definitely going to be a no go.
Yeah,
oh
but like it was,
yeah,
but the fandom was like a breath of fresh air. Like amidst the lockdown,
Yeah,
something exciting happened.
yeah, correct. I mean, it gave a
it,
lot of y'all a lot of hope. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was depressed, but then I saw fandom. I was like, I,
Are we?
my depression was cured.
पहले मैं बहुत डिप्रेस था, फिर मैंने फैंडोम देखा, अब मैं ठीक हो
हाँ.
गया। टेलीमार्केटिंग,
the,
Skynet,
the best cure. But
the best.
honestly, like this gives fans of DC some hope to that extent.
Yeah. So, like, how did you tackle the fandom thing? Like, Ayushman, like, did you wake up to all these notifications or you were ready? Like, I'm going to spend my morning just doing DC stuff.
So the funny thing for me like happened on well I ended up landing on this whole fandom thing happening on Twitter, which was originally like DC started tweeting this like a few hours before the fandom started, right? And you could see Gal Gadot and all these people talking about Hall of Heroes and DC fandom panel happening in like a few hours. And I think this had started 2 days or 3 days like before the fandom itself happened, and you could see all these notifications coming. So I kind of just had it in the back of my head that it's going to take place. But and as much as I really wanted to watch it, it just felt like too much of a commitment to just spend hours watching a live stream. Rather than that, like I was like looking at Reddit, like, and I think you can kind of understand my plight with like just looking at Reddit and other places to see what's
Yeah.
happening and see the trailers and everything.
I was like on Reddit and YouTube. So like there are a couple of people
Yeah.
I follow on YouTube and Reddit also. So like on
Uh-huh.
YouTube there is Emergency Awesome, which is like a like
Oh.
he's like a
Yup.
cool guy explaining stuff and giving us nuggets of
Mhm.
information. So like and a couple of other people as well. So like I forgot that fandom is happening. Like I saw that on Instagram and on social media that it's happening, but I kind of forgot that it's gonna happen like tomorrow. So like when I woke up, I'm like, what? Like I was out of. I didn't have any words. Like I'm at a loss even now. Like if you can see, I saw like I the first notification was the Batman trailer is out. I'm like, what? I'm like, I haven't
Yeah,
even
that
brushed my teeth, and this is what they're giving.
Yeah, after that you
that
don't
was
need to
that
brush
was
your
like
teeth. That's
crazy,
stuff
man.
that you can excuse oral hygiene for. Like, चलेगा अभी मैं लाइफ जी लूंगा
Yeah,
और कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए.
dude, Z, like honestly, the funny part about like the Batman trailers is that what, according to the director and the people working on it, only 30% of it, the movie has been shot till now, and
Okay,
they made a trailer.
Yeah,
And
that's so cool.
yeah, and the thing is, like the trailer, we'll get to it, like we'll go in deeper into it a little later. But oh my god,
That
that
good, huh?
trailer.
That good. And I thought,
Battinson is officially here, guys. Battinson is
Yeah,
officially here.
like
Robert Pattinson.
my benchmark was like The Dark Knight. Do you think this is gonna top that?
I think it's gonna top it.
So
Damn.
okay, those are difficult words to kind of answer to, because Dark Knight has its own kind of pedestal we've all
Yeah,
had it
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
I
yeah,
this looks close to, if not like maybe can top it. It has potential,
nice.
but
Yeah, it
like
is. It
even
is
if it reaches
grounded. It is
near that
grounded.
level, I think
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
But you know what? While I'm not too overly involved in either the whole MCU or the DC camp, I am recently watching Gotham, and I have to
Mhm.
tell you that I find that really interesting. Like, I mean, to me, for it like the whole Batman saga was like the whole NFS saga, right? You can either play for the good guys or the bad guys, and like NFS,
Right.
I loved rooting for the bad guys. Similarly for Gotham also. The villains are so damn cool, and they have such personalities, they have such sass, they have such quirkiness. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, Joker takes the pie because of genuinely good and also a lot of hype. It's like that one popular song that you hear from an artist. But apart from that, there are many other villains that like the Penguin or the Pig, Professor Pig. The kind of
Mhm.
stuff that they at least shown in Gotham, at least for a normie like me, is a good gateway or an entry point into the DC universe.
Yeah, and it's such a fresh
I think yeah,
perspective.
like
Like,
Gotham is interesting in the sense like the first season itself wasn't that great, but
Yeah.
they've done well to create that universe, or explaining to an extent. I mean, it doesn't completely follow everything in the comics, but they do get like the points of these villains to an
It must be
extent.
so
What are
difficult
they
for,
about?
for the two of you, right, and the many others who are extremely passionate to see that there is actually a triangle between the comics, the movies, and the animated or let's say the TV series? Like sometimes does it
Yeah.
feel like they're all moving parts in different directions? Does that piss you off, or does that even actually make it more interesting?
No, it makes it
Well,
more interesting because there are so many
yeah.
perspectives. Like if you see
Fair.
Gotham, Gotham doesn't have Batman. Gotham only has the
Yeah.
other side characters and the
Correct.
villains.
Correct. Like they're
Like I
just showing
really
Batman in the making. They're showing his relationship with everybody around town, and
Yeah.
how he his first encounter with Resha Gu, and then his relationship with
You mean Ra's al Ghul?
हाँ वही
What is the
Ra's al
Resh
Ghul.
al Ghul?
Dude, that's what they say in the
there
series.
are there
इससे
are
पहले
many
मैं बहुत
pronunciations.
बहुत नॉर्मल इंसान था, मैं भी उसको रासाल गोल ही बोलता था। हम हाँ तो ये अपना देसी आदमी है ना, ऐसे जोगेश्वरी इससे। But then I watched the series and I'm like, Resh Aghu, like ये क्या सीन हो रहा है बे?
Bro, no. This is the first time I'm hearing that.
रेश आगू, अब लाइक ये गलत है, मतलब ये वो
कुछ
इट्स लाइक
गलत
दैट ऋतिक रोशन का मीम, माँ मेरा फायदा उठा रहे हैं ये लोग, मेरा गलत फायदा उठा रहे हैं। मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं जा रहा हूँ, घर आ रहा हूँ मैं। So it was like that. But like on the side note, I really enjoyed the whole character development of Gotham. I haven't caught up
Right.
the recent series, but I mean it's nice to know that fans really find those moving parts interesting, because I can imagine it gives a lot more talking points, because then everybody takes different sides, and then it's this side versus that side, and I think that's sometimes kind of fun, like we've seen in the Big Bang Theory. Those kind of discussions, do they really happen, or is that like a hyped up media representation? Have you found yourself in discussions like those with other
Well, like we do have discussions, but I mean, there are similar discussions. They do take a lot from what's happening around, but
okay.
I think Big Bang Theory also takes it to that level of making it comedic completely, even though like I don't think all discussions go that way. I don't know. Like, does it happen for you, Dathmaga?
I mean, I have a separate group on WhatsApp where I discuss about DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
like
इसको हक है, इसको
I'm
हक है, this is मतलब family groups ठीक है, but DC Marvel groups are the shit. Like everybody
Yeah.
get off your family groups, stop wishing good mornings and get on these groups. कुछ सीख
yeah,
लोगे for a change.
like I have somewhere to release my pent up emotions about geeking out on this.
Yeah.
But like what DC does is like DC brings so many fresh perspectives, like whether
Yeah.
it be their shows, whether it's their movies, it's their animated thing. They show
Hmm.
so many perspectives. Like this fandom also showed so many perspectives that DC had,
Exactly.
starting with
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman. So like Wonder
Dude.
Woman trailer looked like a Guardians of Galaxy esque.
So,
Did you
so
notice that, or was I the only one? But
no,
seeing the
so like I agree to the Guardians of the Galaxy thing to an extent, but like I think it does have its own flavor in the sense of like they do have a very darker undertone that might come in if people understand like who the main villain that Pedro Pascal is playing is supposed to be and what he can be capable of to that extent, especially like his powers, or rather his character is supposed to be someone who can like control people's minds in a way, or can hypnotize people and get them to kind of do his bad sense or cause other kinds of havoc,
yeah,
which with
I'm still in the gray about his character, because and I'm thankful that DC hasn't revealed fully that who's he playing. Like we know some stuff about his characters, as you said, his abilities, but like I'm still in the gray about what is Pedro Pascal going to do in this movie.
his character, like from what people are saying, is supposed to be Maxwell Lord, right? If I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah, but yeah, I'm
So
still like I don't fully know like what Maxwell Lord is gonna do. Like he's not like a well-known villain like Ares in Wonder
yeah,
Woman 1.
yeah.
I'm pretty like I'm in the gray. I'm still interested that to see
Though
what he's gonna do in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Though there is one villain that people, at least to an extent, know about who is also making the rounds, and that is being played by Christian Wig, uh,
Yeah, the cheetah.
the cheetah. And that's okay. Quick question. of the like snippet of whatever we saw her design to look like in the trailer? Like, what did you think of that?
I think it's still unfinished. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I think they're
same.
still working
It
on it.
kind of reminded me if you've seen the trailers for the Cats movie and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
which was horrifying. I'm quite sure Z doesn't know what I'm talking about
Yeah,
right
like
now.
I probably should also do another podcast on the side, so I don't feel that I'm actually
I think
multitasking with another podcast. Yeah,
I think this is like like a DC Universe dummies for DC Universe for dummies. Like it's
yeah,
these
dude,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
student.
I represent that side so hard. Like my only exposure has been like very fragmented, and I never really knew that two camps really existed. I just thought कि हाँ ठीक है सब लोग हैं, but I don't know, for some reason Marvel just came in a couple of years ago, and they I don't know if they were marketed really well or they created an awesome brand or what, but for some reason, for a layman like me, Marvel is more approachable. But again, I
Mhm.
wouldn't call it Marvel. I would just call it the Thor movie, or I would call it the Avengers movie. And I
Yeah.
really like DC movies too, but I think Marvel really came upfront and stated that, hey, you know what, we are MCU, we are a franchise, we are a brand, and we're going to market to you till you get that fact. I don't think DC was ever in your face as much as Marvel has been. I don't know if the plans are going to change soon.
I
Yeah,
think
Marvel has
DC
always been very
needed it.
audience friendly.
Yeah.
Marvel has
Correct.
always been very audience friendly. Like they make movies for everyone. So like everyone can
Hmm.
watch it. It's a kid, the kid's father can also
Exactly.
watch
Yeah.
it, the mother can also watch it. But like DC you need to acquire that specific taste if you want
100%.
to
Yeah,
enjoy DC.
I
Like DC
agree.
is kind of that.
The funny thing in all of this is like originally before like Marvel did the like put into action their whole plan of building up whatever the MCU their franchise and how Marvel became big. I think DC never really like needed it because there was always like hype around Batman coming up. There was always hype around like Superman movies. There was always hype around Joker and all these kind of characters. At least from the mainstream of DC.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like ever that factor ki arey, like everybody knew who these guys, superheroes were, so they didn't like. I don't think they have ever thought of like doing it in the way Marvel did it, and in that sense, Marvel had to revive themselves and after being broke in the 90s the whole thing of like he had to sell quite a lot of rights, right,
He
from
had to
Marvel
sell many
Oh, that
characters
happened?
to Sony.
characters. Yeah, like he
Like
sold the
Spider-Man is
rights to
still with
Spider-Man.
Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
so like talking about Wonder Woman, getting back there,
Oh yeah.
I'm Cheetah. I think it's still unfinished. I think they still have some editing left. I could see that from the trailer itself that post
Exactly.
production is left a little bit, and the the colors of the film, like the cinematography is, and while seeing the trailers and after seeing it, I got a very Guardians of the Galaxy vibe because of the
Mhm.
music choice, the colors and everything. But I can still feel that dark and grittiness, but they're
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to blend those two, like, and it worked out, I think, because it worked out pretty well.
One thing DC, at least DCEU to that extent has gotten right is Wonder Woman, especially like they understand what that character needs and how that character needs to build itself up, at least for the movies and their perspective of it. And with this trailer, you could see it because you saw like it wasn't like they were doing it specifically to show, talk about a message or talk about one thing in particular. It was just Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman without like putting extra stuff in it. And I think that's what makes this whole idea of like these movies for at least DC, because they know how to handle this character well. And going ahead, like even the trailers look really cool. Like you said, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it has like colors. It has like the right undertone, the whole idea of that there's something more sinister in the background, even though everything looks happy-go-lucky. And I think that's what 80s kind of represents as well, in a way that colors, but then there's a lot that happened behind the scenes in the 80s as well. So I think they
Yeah,
know what they're doing.
and dude, I still don't know how is Steve back.
Yeah. Like, what is this? Do
Like, is this some trick or something? Like, how is he
okay,
back?
you wanna do like a our own canon theory, like our own theory, basically, like what it could be. I feel like it could be a hallucination caused by Maxwell
Same, dude.
Lord.
I have the
Yeah, I
same
agree with
theory.
you.
It's
I
a
completely agree
hallucination.
with you.
It's a hallucination. I had the same idea.
Hmm.
I think it's related to Pedro Pascal in some way, playing with her mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
think,
one of the things the only thing I think I kind of know about Pedro's character, which is Maxwell, is that apparently once, and this was apparently a long time ago in comics, where or like so, yeah. So what happened was Maxwell kind of caused Superman, controlled Superman's mind to go rogue, and he kind of made him fight, or made Wonder Woman have to fight Superman, and like because he was doing like crazy things, and something along those lines, and he's caused a lot of problems for the Justice League before. Though apparently his character got like improved after some time, and he became a good guy later on, or something like that. And then they kind of revamped his character with new Infinite Crisis, like revamp and
yeah,
everything.
he's kind of
But
like an anti-hero in the DC comics.
yeah, yeah,
So, and also like Gal, like the golden suit. Fuck,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it looks so sexy. I
dude.
mean that the
Oh
shine.
my god. Also, Gal Gadot, man.
Yeah, well, I
Jeez.
can chime in on
You know,
that.
I don't like Gal Gadot because there is some conspiracies around her because she's a Zionist.
Yeah, like
So
the whole thing of like she was
yeah,
in the army and all that, right?
yeah,
Before
so
this,
like,
and
and plus
yeah.
her eyes, so like there is some, she has a lot of wrong ideals. Let's not discuss about that. But Gal Gadot, like
I mean, it's a good precursor to your
this
pod.
podcast will
Yeah,
become let's get uncomfortable if we talk. But
people,
but
let's
yeah,
get uncomfortable
yeah, we'll do a crossover there also.
for sure.
Done, dude. Sheeples get uncomfortable with Dark
Oh,
Mulligan.
that's I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but on a side note, I think it's on a side note, I think it's a perfectly good time to mention that if you're a brand manager, or if you work in marketing, or if you're just handling the image of any kind of brand in the world today, I think it's
Yeah.
it's exactly the time where you need to pick a side. Brands have been on the fence for way too long, trying to be very neutral and goody two shoes with everybody. कि लेफ्ट विंग वाला भी
Hmm.
सही है, राइट विंग वाला भी सही है, हम दशहरा भी विश करेंगे, ईद भी विश करेंगे, हम every life matters, not just black life matter. So brands have
Yeah,
been on that, and it's sort of nauseating. Like, and I'm going to state it up front.
this is like
Hmm.
another episode because
Yeah,
I'm very much involved. Like
yeah,
I'm very much aware about this, and I work
yeah,
in the same field. So,
yeah.
like,
Matlab, that whole tendency of just being the person. So you know what? In life, if everybody
Guys.
likes you, then you've definitely done something wrong.
Like I think we
yeah,
are moving away
yeah.
again from DC.
I was thinking,
But what
Like
about, no? We can make it. We can make it relatable. What about DC and Marvel? Are they brands that stay on the fence, or do they vocally speak out
So
about?
they have come out with like, so the thing is, it's not just Marvel and DC as comic overlords or anything like that, right? They have people who work under them who write comics that have a message towards like all these ideologies,
Yeah,
all these things.
the reason I say that is because when you have a comic, you obviously have an exposure to a few million people, and then with that, there's a
Yeah,
responsibility, and it's literally like a media
but I think
outlet.
it more so happens in the comics than the movies. That also I shall mention. Like,
What
yeah,
happens
and
in the
they
comics?
have
Like,
always been vocal about the
uh,
stuff through their comics. Like the character of Black Panther.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
There are so many characters in the DC universe as well. Like
correct.
the John Stewart Green Lantern, then
yeah.
Static Shock, Cyborg, Black
Even for that
Thunder.
matter, Superman can represent like a person who's not from in this case the world, but like the whole idea of like people from outside aren't like a bad thing for society. Like they are here to help and all that kind of thing. So like
Great. I
even
mean,
Superman to an
if,
extent does
if they
represent
do
that.
that, that's brilliant. Because my only thing was that every brand, including Marvel and DC, have a responsibility to sort of
Mm-hmm.
turn the tides in appropriate directions. And if they do that, then I think hats off. And those are brands that millennials should follow more, and should actively look at whether their brands are supporting the causes that they believe in. It's just like the political party that you vote for. It has something
Yeah.
to do with your ideals. So if out of DC and Marvel, which one do you think is doing more towards uplifting humanitarian causes in their own way? If you had
I
to pick
think
one.
they're both doing it equally through their
Yeah.
content. Like there is
Yeah.
no such thing as DC's
Yeah,
representing
exactly. Yeah.
better.
Okay. As long as both aren't silent, I think that's brilliant.
No, they have been very much vocal. So like if you see,
Since the
there is a
beginning.
show called Black Lightning,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it very much talks about racial injustice. Like Black Lightning
Fully
is
does.
a
Yeah.
superhero. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Even
that
even
show talks
Static to an
about,
extent like showcases the cultural impact
yeah,
of like
he
all the different things.
Static Shock
Yeah.
shows like the street culture. Like he's like a
Yeah.
superhero from the streets, and he always looks.
Yeah.
He's like
Which
like how
mentioning
Spider-Man
like
is.
they had this on the panel as well.
Yeah. So yeah. So just finishing off with Wonder Woman. You
Yeah.
know, Patty, like the director Patty Jenkins, she said that Wonder Woman trilogy is very likely to happen, and
Hmm.
third movie is going to be her last movie in the Wonder Woman franchise. So like
Uh-huh.
yeah, and there's a very interesting part that like if you see Wonder Woman ka first movie and Justice League
Yeah.
happens in the current day, whereas Wonder Woman happens in the past. And Wonder
Past, yeah.
Woman 1 happened during World War. Which World
World
War
War.
2? It was World War
Uh,
2.
I think it was World War Two as well.
It was
Like
World
if I'm
War
not.
Two. So like, and now they're exploring her past. Like
Yeah.
always franchises move forward, but this franchise is moving backwards. Like they're
Always going backwards.
representing the 80s. Like
Yeah.
they're filling the gap between present day Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1. So like that is a very interesting thing that DC is doing. They're moving backwards with Wonder Woman.
Yeah. And also like harkening back to the fact that what you said, Z, about like do they talk about causes, like Wonder Woman does that really well, especially in the case in the movies as well, that they have the female director like doing her thing, letting her like vision shine onto the screen,
That's so awesome.
taking like the whole character and like showing through her actions and through how the way she's handling each situation, making
Yeah.
mistakes, but also like going forward and owning it, and then kind of being able to be your own person, be that superhero, even like during the times where it was the worst case scenario where people did not like think of listening to women at the time, especially during the World War II scenario where we saw how much like her character had to work to get herself heard, to moving towards like the 80s now where things are a little different, but again like you can see how society is going to be with women at the time and how much her character might have made a difference in society at that
Correct.
point.
Correct.
So
And yeah, like
That's
as in Wonder Woman 1, they were talking about, they're exploring the World War scenario. Now I
yeah.
think in the 80s they're exploring the Cold War scenario, because I think the Cold War happened between 70s to
Yep.
90s only. Like they're
Yeah.
exploring the Cold War. I guess it's the Cold War. They haven't openly talked about the Cold,
Yeah.
but I'm
Like
sensing they're going to explore the Cold War universe in
for
Wonder
sure.
Woman 2.
Like I think that's the main thing, right? Like having all the happiness out on the outside, but that Cold War going on behind with that undertone of just there's something that we don't know about, and I think
Yeah,
that's what really excites me.
one thing I want to see from the Wonder Woman movie franchise is, the introduction to a Greek god. Like I want to see another Greek god. Like we saw Ares. I want to see another Greek god in, like, in this Wonder Woman movies. Like I'm sensing that, there will be some god involved in this Wonder Woman 2 as well.
Maybe,
Because, Ares did not die actually, because gods
yeah,
technically cannot die.
cannot
But
die. Yeah.
I want to see Hades, man, because in the comics, or
Dude,
sorry, not in the comics,
yeah.
but in the Justice League animation, it was originally Hades who was Wonder Woman's father. But in the movies, they have shown Zeus as
Zeus
as
to be,
her
yeah.
father. Like I want to see Hades, man. I want to see Zeus and the Wonder Woman. Like I want to see what it looks like.
you're talking about Hades and Zeus. Just took me back to Percy Jackson in Age of Mythology days.
Oh God, Percy Jackson is another thing. Oh,
Yeah,
The Last
that's like,
Olympian, the Labyrinth.
oh, dude.
Oh, dude.
Those books are
It's
something else, huh? But
so
dude,
again,
good.
I'm
back
rereading Percy Jackson. I'm rereading Percy
Oh
Jackson.
fuck, are
yeah,
you, dude? Dude, I'm rereading this book called Artemis Fowl, and I remember the last I read Percy Jackson
oh,
was near my house. There used to be a landmark store in Infinity. I used to bunk my tuitions and go sit there and read all the Percy Jackson books. Best memories. So cool,
Dude,
man.
like I've read Percy Jackson because my friend used to buy the books and then I used to borrow them from him.
Same,
Nice,
same
nice.
Ayushman, in the same boat. I'm in the same boat.
We were
See,
poor
that's what I
kids.
agree.
We were poor kids. And then the
Um,
digital books, we didn't know how to back then.
yeah,
So
but
Ayushman, what are your expectations from Wonder Woman 2? Sorry, Wonder Woman 1984. Sorry.
also like I've finally been outed again in this pod.
Love, bust.
But Talon is gone. Ayushman is here. Let's
I
do
found
it.
it. The mask has been taken off.
Yeah, the mask has been removed. But yeah, Wonder Woman 2, I feel like it has a lot of potential. The only thing is like I hope the CGI isn't as bad, or rather not like janky to an extent. Somewhat it looked in the trailers, but other than that, I think the story seems really interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's the main part. I'm really excited about that. The trailer did not reveal stuff. I get to learn new stuff and see what Pedro Pascal's character is about, what Kristen Wiig's character Cheetah is about, and I just want to learn more about that. What about you?
Like, I hope they explore Themyscira more because we didn't get to see Themyscira a lot
True.
in the DC universe. And I hope they explore Themyscira and the gods as well, the Greek gods. Because
Huh?
it will be a very interesting thing to see how gods interact with the DCEU universe.
Yeah.
Because
Dude, something about
Black
Greek
Adam
mythology.
Shazam and Black Adam are also technically related to the Greek gods.
Yeah, I think Black Adam and the other fact that Black Adam also was revealed in this fandom with like The Rock playing, or rather Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing the character of Black Adam, and his whole like
That motion
storyline.
comic that they released, like instead
Yeah,
of a trailer,
yeah,
they
yeah,
released that
yeah.
comic. It was very
That
cool.
looked cool.
It's a very
Yeah.
cool method of showing a teaser.
Like this was something very different from your usual, and we got to see it in sue it. Wow, what was that? See see it in like that form, like true to it's basically like he's coming out of the comics for the first time to theaters, and plus it's gonna tie into Shazam, which is like I think it might tie into Shazam 2, like which is supposed to be in 2022, like they
No,
said in the
no.
fandom.
What they said is like Black Adam and Shazam are going to clash in Shazam
Yeah.
3 probably, but they're like he will be shown in Shazam 2, like hinting towards him being
Right.
the villain or a fight
Yeah,
happening. But
which is really
segue.
like exciting,
But yeah, what a nice segue from Greek gods to Shazam. I'm proud of myself.
dude. See, this is a true podcaster here. Like we have a true podcaster with us.
Well, something about Greek mythology is so aspirational and like the way they've created that entire structure of Hades and Zeus, and you have Aphrodite
Poseidon.
and Poseidon. Like it's just so damn cool, man. Their gods are so cool. Like I
Yeah,
want to
Also,
see
there's
them.
a lot of incest.
yeah, yeah, Ayushman, you're right.
Dude,
I made y'all two like shut down in a moment.
I'm like ठीक है अभी कुछ बोल नहीं सकते but
Bro,
okay.
Zeus. The best part is like Zeus is married to his sister, and
मचा
anyway,
रहे
that's
हैं
a
वो
whole
लोग.
other thing. Other thing. Other
वो
thing.
लोग मचाते ही है. वैसे technically if we've originated from two people in the world and everybody is being incestuous, so मतलब depending
Yeah.
on what you believe in, I guess it works that way. Plus,
Yeah, but what did you think about the Black Adam movie? Like, what did you think about Black Adam? What do you
Black
think about
Adam
the Black
seems very interesting. His character, like from what I know, he was the first guy to, or one of the first like people to receive like the power, right? To of basically this group of so like the main thing is like I think he got it because his people or his country was being oppressed by from what I know a little bit about his story, is his country was being oppressed, and he got this power to protect them, but then I think the power kind of overtook his personality or his being, and he became a little more I guess I wouldn't say evil per se, more so like it's
He
he's
thinks for himself, like like
yeah,
when he
yeah,
got like he was the one to receive the powers of Shazam first, and like
yeah,
he looked after his people, which made him
yeah,
which got him sidetracked towards others. Like he doesn't care about anything else
anything else,
but
yeah.
himself and his people.
Yeah, like he'll protect his people and his country like with everything and anything he's got. but he's also like he doesn't care about any other thing, any other person or any other like entity that might like unless it's causing harm to them or it can be a threat to them. And I
The
think
most
yeah,
the most
what do you say?
interesting thing about Black Adam is how they're going to show the city of Kandar. That sorry, Kandar.
Oh,
Like it is like
Kandar.
an ancient Egypt-esque
Yeah,
civilization where magic
like I
and
think that's I think I hope like it's not completely CGI because sometimes that takes it away from the whole magic of the I don't know, maybe the movies, but like it does seem like a very interesting thing for it to be in movies. And to be honest, like I hope they do that character justice and do it well because I think it could be a very thing. Like first time, first of all, seeing that character on the big screen, like it could be a very interesting thing to see how they go
and there's
about
Dwayne
making him.
Johnson. The Rock is attached to
Yeah,
it. I think everyone
yeah,
is going to watch it.
ये
Like
कब हुआ?
yeah,
that face value is enough for attracting people.
For
And
people like me,
exactly, dude.
when
normies.
you said justice, bringing back to Black Adam, in the
Uh-huh.
Black Adam movie, the Justice Society of America is going to be is going to be mentioned and is going to be shown. Like they are telling that Justice Society of America is something that existed before Justice League. So I'm very excited to see that also. Like how's that going to play out?
My is this supposed to be like a separate universe itself where
No, I don't think so. Because
because
he's going to interact with Shazam, and Shazam is interacting with Superman in his movies. So I think it's a part of the
hmm
DCEU. I think so.
maybe no, so here's the thing, like DCEU or whatever DC is planning now, like they and this that I can kind of say it because one of the biggest things that DC revealed was the Flash going around different places, especially with his movie that might be coming out. I think they might be opening up different universes within that DC universe. And one they showed with the Flash was him with like Michael Keaton's Batman, right? And I don't think Michael Keaton's Batman is in the same as Batfleck, if or Ben Affleck's Batman in
No, no,
general.
no.
So
They're
it might
inter-
be that Black Adam and Shazam might be a separate universe on its own.
I don't think so because Superman dropped a cameo in the Shazam movie.
Yeah, but he could be. Yeah,
No,
true. I don't
they
know.
said it's a Henry Cavill. He's the Henry Cavill Superman. They
Superman.
said.
Yeah.
So I am very
I
interested
guess.
to see
Yeah.
how they'll tackle that Justice Society of
Yeah.
America. There are four heroes from the Justice Society of America that they are gonna introduce. Like Atom Smasher is one. Where are the other names? I forgot the other names as well. But Atom Smasher is the one, and then we have shit. I forgot the name. Does anyone have the names or what?
I can't remember the names as such. I because to be fair, like I don't know much about Justice Society of America. Uh, I I think, but isn't like so one of the things I know about one thing I can remember is isn't like that other Flash, like the old Flash, Barry Allen Flash, where who wears the helmet is a part of Justice Society of America, like
Yeah, he's the
technically.
one. He's like that. He can increase his size and everything. Like apparently, there are four heroes from the Justice Society of America who are going to clash with Black Adam. So
Jay
that's
Garrick. Jay Garrick is the name of that Flash. Right, right, right.
yeah, Jay
So
Garrick. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I hope it's in the DCU universe because it will make things interesting to see.
Mhm.
The DC universe has a history. Like when you see
Oh,
Marvel movies, the Marvel movies happen from the present till the end. They don't have any history. When you see the
yeah,
DC
yeah.
movies, they are introducing history also. Like they're going backwards. Like Shazam, a Black Adam, Wonder Woman. They're traveling backwards to explain the history about how superheroes were there, or how these powerful beings were
Yeah.
present in our civilization.
Honestly, like I think DC now finally has a good plan with how they want to go about it, and I wish, like especially like looking back at the decisions that they made, seeing how Black Adam now they know what they're doing with like Justice Society of America, they'll somehow put them into the whole universe like they've already existed. Then that sounds really interesting. If they existed before the Justice League, like either way, when Justice League was, I think the original plan, whatever they had with Zack Snyder, like they shouldn't have gone away from it and shouldn't have like root of things because even though Marvel was like Marvel worked for, the way it did because they already had that tone. DC people liked Man of Steel. Personally, I really liked Man of Steel, and I don't know
Dude,
why
same.
they.
I loved Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Is that the one where
like
the trailer had like the bullet going inside his eyeball and like boof? Is that the one?
was that?
No, man,
Don't.
there's nothing going inside his
Yeah.
eyeball.
Yeah.
There's like a trailer. I remember. I haven't seen the movies, but I remember in the trailer someone shoots like a gun at him at like point blank range, and the bullet goes towards his eyeball, and then the bullet sort of explodes, and his eye doesn't even shut. Don't you
He
remember
normally
that?
catches the
Part of
bullet.
it.
He normally catches the bullet.
Acha.
Yeah. I mean,
But
either way, like.
But I guess he left that to Rajni. He's like, "Tu bullet pagad, मैं blink भी नहीं करूँगा." But on a side note, I always wanted to ask: Is Hellboy DC or Marvel, and why doesn't it get talked about enough? I think Hellboy is so damn cool.
remembering Hellboy, even Constantine is so cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh, dude, that movie was amazing.
Dude, that
oh.
movie. Keanu Reeves is. I don't know if I
Yeah.
like the movie more for its story or because of Keanu Reeves. I have no idea.
Dude,
I
the
think both.
Constantine series is also very amazing. I don't know why people have watched it. The one with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan
Uh-huh.
did a fucking fabulous job with Constantine. And it was only
Dude.
one season, and NBC cancelled it because it wasn't earning enough money. But the plot is so good, guys. You all should watch it.
The sad part is like not enough people know about the like I think it didn't get the hype it should have gotten. I don't know how that didn't happen with Constantine, but like and still somehow Supernatural had 15 seasons. I mean, I love Supernatural.
It was because NBC had Lucifer, and it was
Yeah.
kind of like an experiment that they were doing,
Yeah,
and
true.
fans didn't get involved, so that's why it didn't earn
Well,
enough. That's why.
at least like he was mentioned in the Flash and Crisis on Infinite Earth universe ka like
He
the
was
crossover
he
event
was
that
an
they had.
active part in the Legends of Tomorrow show. Like they brought
Yeah.
him back for one season, which was
Yeah.
I felt very good. But I would have loved to see a Constantine season 2. You
Dude,
should
that would
check
have
that
been.
out. It's a very good show.
But getting back to fandom, Justice League you were talking about was yeah. So I was saying like what the whole Man of Steel and BVS also when the director's cut came out, I think I found it better than the theatrical release at least. If I did you see the director's cut for it?
Yeah, I've seen it. It was amazing. It was amazing, and the fact, why is DC not throwing the director's cut in? Like this is the second time it happened. Like the
I
director's cut is
swear.
better than the theatrical cut.
I mean, that's a hope, right? With Snyder Cut, like it looks so good. It has 4 hours of footage. How does that happen? Like you cut out so much from the movie and you added in scenes that weren't needed. Why?
I think we should delete the Joss Speed and Justice League out of my memory. Like I
Oh,
want to
dude, yeah.
delete that out of my memory.
Like Z, did you see it? Did you like see that Justice League by any chance?
No, I haven't.
Thank God.
Don't
See,
even.
this is the
Yeah.
one good thing you've done.
Yes, my
Yeah.
ignorance and misinformation has blessed me.
But I was so
Don't even see the trailers. We don't
That
even
bad, huh? That
yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
see the trailer of that movie also. Like, what do you think
Wow.
about the Snyder Cut? Like, the trailer started with fucking Dark Side. I was like, they just put that out there casually.
Dude, I swear, like they have Dark Side. They improved the design of Steppenwolf, which was fucking great to
It was
see.
the OG Steppenwolf from the BVS post-credit scene.
Yeah, and also like I think they are adding in like one more character called Desaad, who is supposed to be
Arey,
a
he's Darkseid's right-hand man. He's like the
yeah.
advisor and the strategist.
Yeah. So, which like we didn't even know he was supposed to be there in the movies
Yeah,
originally, right? Like,
they just showed him and Darkseid so casually.
yeah.
My mind was blown. I was like, I need to go back. I need to go back. What just happened?
I swear, dude. It was, and plus like showing the flash scenes with Iris West. Like, come on, where was all of this in the movie? Why? Oh my god.
And the fact that the flash scenes in the trailer, it looks like he's traveling in time. The
Yeah,
flash scene,
I think this might relate to what Batman like in BVS like saw like the Flash following him.
the nightmare scene.
Yeah, the nightmare scene. And
Dude,
I mean,
but
it makes sense. It makes sense to tie it back to that. Like, come on, Why?
Dude, I was tripping. Like, how the hell did they not release this and that piece
I
of shit
know.
that they did in theaters?
Bro, they actually the only sad part was Zack Snyder's like daughter passed away around
Yeah,
that time,
yeah.
right? And which is why he had to leave the production and everything, which was so sad to see because like finally at least and the main part is because of the fans, this thing is coming back. Snyder Cut is happening because the it happened. They forced DC's hand, and like the best part of it all, like the way Zack Snyder kind of homage gave this homage to the fans was because he played Hallelujah in the trailer.
Yeah, I was like, he's being
Uh,
sarcastic. I
like
was sensing he's being sarcastic here. But the fact that, even after Joss Whedon's Justice League got released, Snyder was still putting out nuggets in
yeah,
social media. Like, I had this, and he was kind of slightly forcing our
I
hand
swear, bro.
into release the Snyder cut. So I feel like this is like one of the very like this is like a cause that I've been so dearly attached
Yeah,
to, and this is like something is like that cause is getting appreciated. Like finally,
I swear, man. Like it took 3 years, right? About 3 years for me to be like, okay, fuck it. Like, yeah, we'll get you the Snyder cut. Don't worry, it is coming.
like we it is so like if you see this like the general public forced the hand of a big corporation like a big tycoon and they got their rights. It's something like that.
Yeah, like it feels gratifying, it feels great to see it. And I think the sad part is like a similar thing happened with Suicide Squad with the
That
movie
is a
that came
movie I've
out.
watched and I
But
really liked
Suicide
it.
Squad, even the director's cut, even if they release a director's cut, it didn't have that so much meat in it. Like they were trying to show. Like, it didn't kind of work out. Like I liked the movie,
So
but I was not so ooh and ah about the movie.
okay, you two say you like the movie. Personally, like I think it was so bad, and whoever like people say it was like a kind of thing, like it just one cut scene to another because that movie genuinely did feel like that. But personally, I feel video games do a better job at telling a story.
Oh God, dude, the video
Dude,
game,
can't
Suicide
even
Squad and
argue
the
with that.
Justice League.
Video games are much, much better at storytelling. And I think that's a future podcast for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, we have to discuss about the games trailer also we released afterwards, man. The Suicide Squad and
Yeah,
the Gotham
Gotham
Knight.
Knights.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
But what do you
There's
think
so
about
much.
the yeah? What about the Snyder Cut? Like it's a 4 hour long movie. Do you think they're gonna release it in one shot or in 1 hour? Because I heard, because I read
They're
that
doing they're doing
they're
four
gonna release
different
it in
shots.
1 hour. They're going to release it in 1 hour episodes.
Yeah. It's I think Zack Snyder said it himself, like 1 hour episodes, 4 episodes, and spanning over 4 weeks. So each week there'll be one episode coming out, something
Dude,
along those
this
lines.
is so tiring, man.
Um,
This is like
and I think
Game
this
of
is happening in
Thrones.
2021.
This is like Game of Thrones again. एक week wait करना पड़ता है यार.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it after all the
only
four
it won't
rounds.
be as disappointing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shots
Oh yeah.
fired.
Shots fired.
I'm feeling like a mild stroke
Uh,
in my heart. But I'm going to watch it after all the four parts are out. Like I can't take it. Like after seeing 1 hour,
Dude,
I can't wait
how will
for
you stay away from spoilers? I mean, to whatever extent spoilers might be there.
Dude, I can't. Like even during Game of Thrones, I don't know why, but I went on Reddit. I That was like the biggest
Oh
mistake
my
I
god.
made in my life.
Like you wanted spoilers. This is on you, my friend.
Yeah, this is your own like doing.
But we all fight that battle, like between desperation and staying away from spoilers. But it's like it's that feeling that I
Yeah.
just want to know a little bit, and then it's blown out in the open.
Lot of bit ho jata hai very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Zack Snyder originally had a Justice League trilogy in mind. Justice League trilogy, where the Nightmare thing and the
Yeah.
Injustice storyline was going to be introduced with that
Yeah.
Superman.
They kind of ham-fisted that into this one, like in the Justice League instead of like building it up to the second or
No, no,
third
but
one.
even with the director's cut, even with the Snyder cut, like
Yeah.
he told that even with the Snyder cut, there was always a trilogy in mind. like I have like my friend, like the
Yeah.
geek community, the geek circle I have. He
Huh.
sent me. Uh, I'll find that, but till then, what
Huh.
do you think that? Do you think the Snyder Cut will, tell the DC, the corporate DC to continue in the Zack Snyder way, or do you think it's not gonna happen?
So it all depends on like what the reception will be like, because now there are so many properties coming out. I don't like there's so much that they are working on at this point. They might just like be, if it gets the right reception, especially like with the way people are reacting to it right now, they might even like let Zack Snyder go ahead with his vision. But it's very dependent on the actors themselves as well, right? Like we don't know how much Ben Affleck also still wants to be a Batman, like wants to play that character. We don't know how much Henry Cavill still wants to play Superman. So
Dude, they
uh,
all, Ben Affleck wants to play Batman, but there was so much back and forth with DC because they have
Mhm.
because DC itself is so confused because there was
Yeah.
this Ben Affleck Batman movie with Deathstroke, the Joe Manganiello. I can't
Yeah. Joe
pronounce it.
Manganiello, Magniello. I don't
Yeah,
know how to pronounce
whatever.
it.
The Joe's Deathstroke and Ben Affleck's
Yeah.
Batman movie was going to be made, and Ben Affleck had even written a script, but there was so much back and forth because Batman, because of BVS ka whatever happened in the
Yeah.
theatrical cut, that Martha shit. But that
Yeah.
DC got
The
so
Martha
confused.
shit.
And Ben Affleck himself was going to write and direct the movie. How forward that conversation went. But DC was very confused, and they kind of
Yeah.
tired Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck got tired, and he was like, I can't take it anymore. So I think that's
Like
what
that's
happened.
that's the like the whole DC world buildings thing is like they didn't have a full plan, future plan. It seems going forward, they just went with the flow and however things were going on because
Yeah, they went with one step at a
yeah,
time. Like let's create BVS, and then we'll see what will
yeah.
happen.
And
Like
that's what like Kevin Feige did really well with MCU is that they had everything set up, like the idea where it has to go. And I wish DC had done it.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kevin Feige apparently while halfway through phase three, Kevin Feige had already planned out what's gonna happen after Endgame, like in advance.
yeah.
That's how forward they are thinking.
And I mean, at least now it seems like DC is kind of come up with a plan for the
They
time
are back
being.
on track. They're
Yeah.
back on. But like like I found the thing my friend sent. So basically, Zack Snyder's Justice League trilogy was
Huh.
something that in the end of the sorry, this contains. Uh,
Spoilers, mild spoilers.
and do you want to hear it or I can ignore it?
Go for it. Like, I mean, we can talk about it, but the sheeples hearing it, please, if you don't want to hear it, you can
There's
mute this
just one
part out or you
spoiler.
can
There's just
forward it
one
out.
spoiler related to the Snyder
Yeah.
Cut, if it's true. So, like
Uh-huh.
the trilogy basically what happens in at the end of the director's cut, the Snyder Cut, Darkseid
Yeah.
murders Steppenwolf for healing Superman. I don't think that's true because he never healed Superman. But I think Darkseid will murder Steppenwolf because he failed with the Justice League. Then there is another thing that
I can see that. I can see that.
Darkseid defeats the Justice League with ease. Aquaman is killed. Darkseid boom
Oh
tubes
God.
into the Batcave and murders Lois, causing Superman to succumb to the anti-life
Oh,
equation and become
anti-life
evil.
equation. Yeah.
Then Wonder
Oh
Woman is
fuck.
killed trying to protect Lois Lane.
So, I mean, it could be because in the Zack Snyder cut, you can see like the whole thing, Justice League play destroyed, and the like Aquaman's trident stuck to the ground, and Wonder Woman's shield laying on the side with the destruction, and that might be when like the Flash like goes back and tells Bruce that it's all like it's Lois, she's the key. Don't like
Yeah,
be careful with what happens there, and so that Superman also doesn't go rogue. So you know what, that's very possible.
and like the surviving League members who are Flash, Cyborg, and Ben Affleck, so like the Batfleck,
Batman,
they,
yeah.
they are in the
Batfleck.
Nightmare timeline. So, like Flash, Batman, and a tone and half cyborg, like a tone cyborg, work together to send
Fa-
Flash back in time and alter the past.
Dude,
That was the
yeah,
original
yeah.
plan
That
for
like
the trilogy.
Very, very much so possible because if I can see that, and I hope they get to do it to an extent. I don't know if Zack Snyder will get the green signal for it, but I think the reception that it's already getting and the way the movie is seeming to like be maybe panning out, it could be a very big possibility that they might
Yeah,
just
I hope they
go
improve
for
the
it.
relationship with Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder
Yeah.
because like the shit that I have read right now in front of you all, like this is like
Yeah.
Injustice, this is like Flashpoint,
This is
this is like
yeah. Flashpoint, Injustice, plus no Flashpoint is still like him and his mother. So I mean
oh
him
yeah,
going
sorry.
back.
This is like so
Fla-
much injustice involved and the dark. And if you've seen
yeah,
Justice League War, the animated movie,
yeah.
this is like showing that realm.
Dude, I think that there's a lot of potential there, and Snyder Cut is a good indication to where DC might like what DC might be working towards, and if Zack and Ben Affleck can like get together and be like, I don't think they had a particular issue together.
No, no,
It's
no.
just
They had separate issues with DC. So like
yeah
Ben
with
Affleck,
DC like
it was of the
if they
back
can
and forth.
yeah, if they can work it out, oh my God, it's like hallelujah for the fans again. Like we'll
Dude,
play that song.
the nightmare timeline is itself the sequel of the
Yeah.
parent Snyder Cut trilogy. Like
Shit,
exploring
dude.
the nightmare universe, like everything is it's almost carnage everywhere,
Yeah.
and Batman
Damn.
fighting to his last breath.
I wanna see that. I wanna see that so bad. Like hopefully I don't know. Let's see. Let's hope for the best with JL, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
all we can do. But speak like honestly with like speaking of Batman in general, I think with Pattinson coming in, I don't know what that universe is also gonna be like.
Ben Affleck apparently left because when they announced Pattinson because they were not paying
Yeah.
attention to Batfleck, so Ben Affleck
Uh,
like opted out. Like he announced that he can't deal with DC
though
anymore.
he has said he'll come back for Flashpoint, which is a
Yeah,
promising thing.
but we'll discuss that when I have a piece of information that I read. But we'll discuss that when we discuss
uh,
about Flash. But like as you said, Batman, I really like Pattinson. It's kind of
yeah.
Nolan-esque because it's grounded, like from
Yeah.
what I saw in the trailer, and plus the
Plus, it's
red is
supposed to be his like second year of being Batman. Like he's
yeah, it is
just
the
become
second year.
Batman. Yeah.
Plus, it's the red and black goes so well.
Oh, dude, yeah, that the whole tint and everything and the logo and like when it was forming, like the A had the Batman's cowl like resemblance before it became an A, and oh my God, it looked so good. They've done
And
such a
the fact that
good job making
the
it. Jeez.
Batman movies,
Uh, uh,
the DC Batman movies always have like this fixed color tone. Like if you see
yeah,
the Nolan one had shades of the sunrise, sunset. They were using a lot of the sky aesthetic to showcase
yeah,
the stories. It was
yeah.
mostly like gray, black, white, and all of those colors. And when we
Mhm.
come to the Battinson, it is black and white. And when you see Keaton was very, I don't, it was yellow, black, and white. Like they play very
Also,
well.
like that old Batman aesthetic of just that like yellow, kind of dark purplish as well to an extent because Keaton's universe had that whole vibe to it. Plus, it was quite dark to an extent
Yeah,
with the storylines.
dude, I love the detective Batman they're going with. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is full on Batman animated series.
Plus, like we get to see the Riddler properly for the first time in a movie, which like at least a live action movie. Other
Yeah,
than actually, no, wait, there was one which we can't mention because that's a very bad movie in its own way.
yeah. But I like Jim Carrey, by the way. I liked Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
Jim Carrey is an amazing guy, but that movie is a mess.
Yeah. I hope the Flash doesn't visit that universe.
Oh God.
But
George Clooney, dude, if he comes back as nipple Batman, that'll be
oh,
hilarious.
oh man, don't bring back the bad memories.
Bro, honestly, like Z, if you want to know what we're talking about, just search George
Yeah,
Clooney
what's the
Batman.
nipple Batman?
Dude, I
What's
thought
up
Search,
with
Z's
nipple?
was
search,
there in the
yeah.
podcast. I
Yeah,
thought that he he went out.
हाँ मैं ऐसा साइड में खाना वाना सब्जी वब्जी काट रहा
ये
हूँ मैं
हाँ ये
बोले तुम
लंच
लोग
बना रहे थे
आजकल के बच्चे ना ये सब करते हैं तो
I
अपन करने
forgot
देना
he
चाहिए
was there.
so stuff like that. But what's the nipple Batman? What's this? What's up with George Clooney was in Batman?
Are you have to
he
see, right?
was
Yeah,
he was
Z
the
is bad.
You
Batman
have to see
in
it.
90s.
You have to see it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you anything. Like, it's worth watching.
Wait,
just watch
nipple
the movie.
Batman.
It's like
Damn.
if you see that movie, you can see that they represented Batman in a comedy genre.
Fuck, seriously, they did
I'm
that?
being sarcastic, but yeah, it's comedy.
Yeah, like his dark, heavy personality was
Uh,
suddenly diluted.
No, I'm
yeah.
talking about the movie. Like it was supposed to be dark and all of that, but it turned out to be a
Yeah,
great
correct.
comedic movie.
Oh damn.
But yeah, like I am very thrilled to see a Batman movie without any Joker. Like it's
Oh, dude, yeah, for once.
they
Also,
always rely on Joker to save the day.
like
And
they are building up a trilogy, right, for this as well.
yeah,
And
if like I don't, if the Battinson movie goes well, I
yeah.
hope they do release a good trilogy. But what did you think about the Nirvana song that they dropped in the
It worked well with the trailer, man. It worked
dude?
really
It
well
was
with the
so
trailer.
tense. Like I was feeling the tension in the
Yeah,
crime
yeah.
scene, and the way they rhymed Gordon's dialogue and the Riddler's letter.
One thing, but I was saying like there. I think the movie itself is kind of hinting towards more than just like Riddler,
Yeah,
Penguin, and Catwoman. Because even with the song, right? Like there's this whole undertone of there's something deeper going on. There's something like that people don't know about. And even in the Riddler's like first clue or whatever clue that we saw, it had that whole like aspect of hinting towards like if you remember like the card has an owl and he says who and all that stuff and there's this whole
yeah.
thing like recently the coat of owls is something that which is also going to come into like the game Gotham Knights. The coat of owls has become a very important part of Batman lore recently at least,
Yeah,
so
like I was going to
it's
say the
something I
coat
feel
of
like
owls. I was going to say the coat of owls, like like because they're talking about corruption in the Batman, like
yeah.
solving corruption, and in the end of the trailer, when the apparent, I think apparently it's Bruce Wayne and the Riddler talking, or I guess it's the Batman and Riddler. Like he said, Bruce Wayne or Batman asks like, "How am I connected to this?" Like the Riddler says, "You'll see." So I think
Yeah.
that like the fellow I follow on Instagram, Emergency Awesome, he
Huh.
told that apparently the Wayne family might be involved with the corruption and the coat of owls.
So the thing with that is, I think from what I remember, his grandfather had an altercation or was connected to the Court of Owls to a big extent, like Bruce Wayne's grandfather. And I don't want to spoil the other part. Like I don't know if I should mention it or not, because it's a big part of the Court of Owls. Should I mention it?
Like,
What do you
go on.
say? So Dick Grayson is supposed to be like he was apparently like supposed to be given to the Court of Owls as an agent as when he was a kid, but he somehow escaped. Uh, uh, and he's apparently like an agent that was trained initially by the Court of Owls, but he doesn't remember any of it anymore, and he became like Robin and Nightwing afterwards.
I
So
thought he was like a hat. I thought he was kind of like a circus at
Circus
circus.
Runaway. Yeah, so apparently in the comics, right, what happened is they told like the circus used to give people to the Court of Owls to train and like because
Oh,
nobody cared about these runaways, right? So they used to
dude,
just
they are
like
involved in child trafficking. Oh God.
he so it's quite crazy. I don't know what else is gonna happen in this.
Dude, there is so much to explore. Like you said, the coat of owls and the corruption. You don't know where it can lead to. And there was also another thing that it was like the coat of owls had indirectly set up the like Bruce's parents' murder. Like in one iteration of the
Yeah,
comic,
yeah,
I read that coat of owls had planned that because
yeah.
like when his grandfather had an altercation and he died, The Wayne family
Yeah.
was apparently opposing the coat of owls, like, and the coat of owls didn't like it, so that happened, and they both got killed. That's another,
Yeah.
like, that's an iteration of the story of how his parents got murdered. But I am like, I'm tripping to see the coat of owls, like, the, like, what if we get a Talon as the villain in two, the Batman 2, if it gets made? But have you also noticed one thing? The thugs he beats up in the trailer. Why do they
They
have a
kind
Joker
of
makeup?
Yeah, so that's something I was also wondering. They kind of look. So have you seen the Batman like animated series? I think
Yeah, I
Batman
have.
Beyond was it, in
Yeah,
which they had similar makeup. They could be goons, but I don't know who they are. They might just be like fanatics or something. Can't say because I don't know if they want to introduce Joker into this world yet. Because we've already had enough of the Joker here and there. So
yeah.
um,
I mean, leave the Joker alone. He won an Oscar, man. Like,
yeah, yeah. At this point, like let's look into the other rogues galleries of Batman
but I
and
like that tease that indirectly, like people make the people suspect that it's the Joker kind of thing going to be
yeah.
introduced. And there was a scene in towards the end of the trailer where
Mhm.
Batman is chasing someone in the car, and that that person laughs. I thought that was the Joker laugh. When like this person is crazy. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's Penguin, right? That's Cobblepot,
yeah,
if I'm
but
not
that
wrong.
laugh was like a Joker laugh. I was
Very
like, what the
Jokerish.
fuck?
Yeah. Very much so. Like I think I don't I think they're just blatantly like putting things like that in there just to like make people wonder.
Mess
It's
with
doing
us.
a good
They're just
job.
doing it to mess with us, man.
Yeah, I think it's intriguing us even more, but that's fine. I think I'll take it. Like if even if I get, I just want this movie to be good. Like it's promising. It shows that Batman is more of a detective here. He knows his martial arts, but they are showing him finally do the detective work, and I think that really makes me interested. I want to see that part of
What
Batman.
about the cast? What about the
Dude,
cast, dude?
Zoe Kravitz, oh my god, Colin Farrell, oh my god, everybody like is
Dude, you
come
can't even
on.
realize Colin Farrell as Penguin. Like, there was like a
I
shot of him in the film.
swear,
Dude, how
I
did they do that?
swear.
That doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
Bro, he gained a lot of weight for this movie. I'm surprised how much of a change that is. Oh god, crazy. Crazy. Like I think he's a great actor, so I think he's just gonna kill it as Cobblepot. Like he's given into the whole role. He's given
Dude,
him
Andy
he's
Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth.
yeah. Oh my
Andy
god.
fucking Serkis.
uh, I mean I hope they give like, sometimes Alfred can be badass as well. So I wonder if he'll be like that in
In
this,
action.
especially yeah. Like, especially since it's Andy Serkis, he might just be like a little bit of a badass Alfred rather than I mean I love Michael Caine as Alfred, but yeah, like rather than
Dude,
the
plus the
old man.
Riddler, like the person playing Paul Dano playing the
Yeah,
Riddler,
Paul
dude, he's
Dano.
a
Yeah,
great actor.
I've not seen much of his work. Where is he? Which what is he known for right now?
I think he was well known for this movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. It was a,
Uh
I don't remember. It's an Amazon Prime video. I forgot the name of the movie, but it had Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Paul Dano in it. I
right,
really liked his acting in it. So like I remember him from that movie only.
right,
I haven't
right.
seen Paul Dano's work,
Yeah,
but
I can't seem to place him in my head right now, but I've
he
heard he's
acted
a
in
good
the
actor.
Prisoners movie. The movie I'm talking about, it's called Prisoners.
Okay. I think I know which one you're talking about then. Yeah. Then I mean, again, like I can't completely place him yet, but maybe I'll have to check him out, check his work out. I want to see what he's
And
about.
the thing that they did with the Batman movie is like the Riddler is also not fully developed. Even like the Riddler
Yeah.
is in his year two, I guess. He doesn't have his flamboyant green coat.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think plus he's much more grittier in this, it seems, because he's rather than just like threats and hostage kind of situations, he's actually killing people from what it seems like in the trailer.
and he's kind of like an anti-hero if you see,
Yeah.
because he's directing Batman to solve the case, apparently. Like, if from what I've seen in the trailer.
He wants to stop the corruption in the city, and he's doing it in a very extreme way, I guess. Which is a very interesting direction to take.
Like,
I
yeah,
feel.
like he's not acting like a villain, but he if he
Yeah.
sees he knows that he's not a villain, but it might turn out that people realize that he's the villain. I
Yeah.
I'm not if you understand what I'm saying, like in his in his mind he's not the villain. He's trying to do the right thing,
It's
but in
more,
the
yeah. It's basically Toby or Obito or Pain rather. Pain from Naruto.
dude, is he here?
He's just
I'm
listening.
I'm
Are
just absorbing
casually
everything.
drop like in 10-15 minutes like a hey guys man.
Hey, hey, hey. This is still Z.
This is
And
he's still here. He's he's in the podcast.
what about James Gunn's Suicide Squad?
So we kind of mentioned this before. I told you guys like I didn't like the original one as much. But this one seems like James Gunn is bringing his Guardians flair into this whole quirky team, which
I don't even call it the Guardians. I don't even call it the Guardians aesthetic. I call it like the gun aesthetic. Like
yeah, the gun gun aesthetic for sure. I think it works well because it's kind of similar in the premise of like he has to manage a team of really weird individuals, which is similar for Suicide Squad, and I think he did an amazing job with GOTG. So
dude,
it,
the Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad has so many obscure characters. I was like,
yeah.
I was laughing.
So who's your favorite? Who's your favorite out of all these obscure
John
characters?
Cena. John Cena is Peacemaker. He's the douchey Captain America. He said it.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Dude, the suits are so funny.
it's fun. It's so good. It looks. You know what? Polka Dot Man makes me laugh the most. Honestly, Polka Dot Man
So,
makes me laugh the most.
dude, Weasel made me laugh. There was like a
Oh,
scene
yeah.
that was actually Sean Gunn, James
Sean
Gunn.
Gunn is playing Weasel. Oh my god.
Dude, I laughed when they showed the Weasel. It was like a huge rat.
Yeah, he was licking the window, right, or something.
He was screeching. I remember he was screeching
Yeah,
and removing his tongue or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
John Cena made me laugh. I'm like, him in that fucking tight suit.
yeah. Yeah. Also, King Shark looks like a very like
Dude, they
friendly
didn't,
guy.
they didn't show King Shark in the trailer, but
I mean, the picture they showed, I think they showed a snippet of him eating someone, which kind of made him less friendly. But when we
dude,
saw the
Taika
original picture,
Waititi is playing the King Shark. I'm laughing just by hearing that.
oh my god.
Dude,
Uh,
and I also read like I follow the Hyper RPG is another page on YouTube that I follow, like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
for
yeah.
nerds. So like what
Dude, like,
they
how have
did,
we not spoken about these pages before? I really need to talk to you more about all this because I follow all these guys.
yeah, and one of the fellows from that video, they talked about what if like it's like a very what if scenario. What if Taika Waititi is array shit, what did he play in Thor Ragnarok? How can I forget?
Korg. Korg.
What if Korg and King Shark meet? I'm like, oh god, that was like the most funny. What if
Wait, is Korg that guy with that Australian
Yeah,
accent?
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Like,
New
hey,
Zealand
my friend
accent. It's
Meek.
a New Zealand accent.
It's a New Zealand
Oh,
accent,
it's
yeah.
New Zealand accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey, my friend Meek. He's here.
dude, just imagine Tiger Waititi's King
I'm
Shark and
cold.
Korg together.
I'm made of rocks.
I'm made of rocks. Yeah, you can see me. It's a
But
full
King Shark
calm in
and
the
Korg.
storm.
King Shark also like the design was so goofy. I loved it. I think his character might be interesting to see on the on the screen as well. The only one we've seen till now is in the Flash TV serial where like
I
animation.
like the King Shark that they visually showed. Like the
Yeah,
visual of that King Shark is very well done.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I can sense Tiger Waititi's King Shark, like his opening dialogue, like hey fellas, I'm King Shark and I eat people. I'm like, what?
Honestly, I think I'm so excited, man. This plus Harley Quinn looks like a badass as always. Also Margot Robbie. Why wouldn't you
I
like
was so
Harley
happy that
Quinn?
they brought her back. I was
Uh,
like, after the
but
Birds of Prey thing and the
yeah,
Suicide Squad one, I thought we are not gonna see her because of, but They brought at least one character back.
Movie, I think she was the only. She was the best part of it for sure. Will Smith wasn't bad at all. Like I'd say Deadshot was great. Uh, but like Birds of Prey.
Dude, but the person who played the Joker in that has done a fabulous job.
I didn't
Even
like
in
Jared Leto's Joker,
Jared
honestly.
Leto, yeah.
I love that scene, when he's just lying on the floor and there are weapons and cash all around him. I thought that was such an iconic scene. Maybe his
People
acting
hated
is
it. Like
very.
I think you're one of the few who actually.
Yeah, dude. I have a very normie perspective on it, but I was like, oh fuck, this is so
According to
cool.
me,
Like,
they overdid Jared Leto's
Yeah.
Joker. Like it was too much to handle.
okay.
I mean, I don't know. Like him, I didn't find personally like bad per se. The only thing was like the movie was so all over the place with whatever they wanted to do, especially even with the
But he dies,
soundtracks.
right, in the movie?
Like
Or like they don't confirm
no,
that.
no, no.
But he's
He's not.
apparently.
He's not dead.
But it's like his chopper gets shot down or
Yeah,
something.
but like it's the Joker. He's not gonna die. So the movie itself,
Yeah, and when that happens
like
in Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Se, we're like, hey, क्या fuck serial hai?
Mihir is
But
not
इधर
dead, my friend.
Mihir comes
He
back,
इधर
lived.
Jon
guys.
Snow वापस आ गया तो oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. ये
Mihir
बहुत
comes
Yeah.
back, guys. But Mihir ka
Yeah,
rebirth
he
होता है.
does come back from the
Dude,
plane crash,
Saas Bhi
bro.
Kabhi Bahu Se universe is another thing. Like the
Yeah,
SBU, the Saas Bahu
yeah.
universe. They have crossovers. Have you seen the Saas Bahu serials have crossovers?
Yeah. I've seen, I've seen them
Really?
like as a kid.
Yeah, see, you have to see. Like you have to
Yeah,
just YouTube this
Damn, like
crossover.
Gopi Bahu suddenly chilling with her Kokila Ben.
bro, रसोड़े में bro.
Oh my
क्या
god.
है?
What is it, Rasode mein thing? Can somebody brief me
It
on
is so
that?
stupid.
कौन
It
था
is so
रसोड़े?
stupid.
Why is that trending? What is wrong with
It was a
humanity?
meme that went viral. I don't
Yeah,
know why
yeah.
it went viral.
Dude, like stuff like Binod, Rasode mein, like what is up with trends these days?
Bro,
It's
This,
just
it's
so
just
lame.
this
it's just
trend is
funny.
another topic that I want to talk about very in depth.
Like Kaiko, मतलब विनोद में क्या था?
कुछ
कुछ
नहीं
नहीं.
तभी तो
But सब जगह विनोद, विनोद,
Brands are
विनोद,
just trying to
विनोद.
capitalize on whatever they grab on, man.
yeah
है ना? Just trying too hard.
yeah
Trying too hard. मतलब I think Paytm changed their name to Binod or something for a while.
Yeah, they did. That.
That was such a cash
so
grab.
that like when that happens the meme dies basically like you should realize
Yeah,
that
it's like now your parents are sending you the meme and you're like, हाँ भी ये
They
cool है.
overdo it, man.
They're like, बेटा तूने ये मेमे देखा है क्या? ये मेमे बहुत अच्छा है. I'm like, okay guys, bye.
They overdo memes so much in these trends. Like, they're like, I can literally sense the Reddit versus, like, cursing, like, all these brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
And I've had a stint at an agency, but I can totally understand both sides. Some agencies are like an authentic creative capital for the brand, and they're pushing them to like take bold moves. But the
Yeah.
brands are like, नहीं, safe रहने का, नहीं. But तो भी कर, पर safe रहे. And I'm like, तो point क्या है?
okay.
वैसे सब आए
Like bringing us back to Suicide Squad. Like how you said
See,
Suicide Squad was all over the
why
place.
are we so distracted in life, man? Like, what
Yeah,
is this?
That's the point of a podcast. You don't talk about just one
going
thing.
into separate multiverses while discussing the podcast.
Yep.
Guys, got it, guys. Did you
Yeah.
get it? Did you get it?
We are sorry, sheeples. Like, it's just who we are as people. We can't focus in life. That's, I think, what defines us.
Yep.
Yeah, but as you
But forever distracted.
Yeah, but Aishwan, as you said, like like the Suicide Squad 1 was like all over
Yeah.
the place. Even the Suicide Squad 2 looks like all over the place, but it's planned.
It's planned chaos. That's even
Yeah.
better.
And the fact that they said that it's going to be like a war movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, this is going to be insane. Like one of the British actors said, there are genitals flying, faces flying, bodies flying everywhere. in this movie.
He was actually no. That's a he used to be a YouTuber. Flula. He's a German guy. He used to be a YouTuber who said this. Genitals flying everywhere.
I remember him from this British quiz show. I don't know if you all have
Really?
He was like a host
he-
on this British quiz show.
Because I remember him from YouTube. Like he used to make music on YouTube, like random music on YouTube, where he used to take like things, everyday things, and start making music from it. That was what his channel used to be, like Flula Bog, something like that. I can't remember the name now, but
I remember his face because I've seen like
he was
there
in Pitch Perfect too.
No, I haven't seen Pitch Perfect movies, but I remember him from the
Ah.
British quiz show. But
Fair
dude,
enough.
But you know who's the villain for Suicide Squad 2? They said it. It's Starro.
Wait, they said it? How did I? Where did I miss that?
I think they didn't say it, but I follow these Redditors and these YouTube pages. They said like Starro might be the villain for Suicide Squad 2, and they always do this. The Suicide Squad villain is not known only like when the movie comes out, then only you know who the fucking villain is.
I mean, if Sparrow is the villain, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Dude, it's like a giant fucking
Yeah,
star that
it's a starfish, a giant floating space starfish alien.
and it,
Basically अपना Staryu का Pokemon
Huh.
but like
उसको
this
डाल दिया है.
Staryu, but like this Staryu is has teeth and it attaches
Yeah.
itself to your face.
Yeah,
Oh damn.
I think he's supposed to be like a very
Yeah.
strong
At least buy
villain,
me
right?
dinner
Like,
first or something like ये क्या scene है?
he's supposed to be like really large as well, right? Like in size, he can become like really huge or something.
So
If I'm not wrong.
how Starro works is basically like if you see the a beehive, there's a queen that controls everyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
apparently
yeah.
there's a Starro like a giant ass Starro
Yeah,
who's like the leader,
yeah,
and like
exactly. Yeah.
he's the main consciousness for all these little Starros. Like it's the same brain, but it's just
Huh.
controlled. I think it works like that. I don't think I'm so accurate, but it works like that.
I like even I'm not completely sure of it, but I know that there's a very giant starro that's like a planet-sized kind of starro and can fuck things up. So
It's
I
like a
don't know
Dormammu.
if Dormammu is yeah, like you're not wrong.
Dormammu, I've come to stop you.
He's quite he's quite like similar in sizing maybe, but not power. Like Dormammu
Dude,
is just
Yeah.
too strong.
Starro got hold of Superman so easy. Like if you see the animated series or the comic,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
Starro controlled Superman like a fucking toy.
So, like, I don't get why always it has to be Superman. Huh? Like, once Superman becomes a threat, everybody's like, oh no, oh my god, oh fuck.
Dude,
It's always,
the fact that Superman is so vulnerable to this, useless
yeah.
things.
I mean, like, I feel like Superman has some really good stories out there, but my god, does he always, like, get sad end of the stick quite a few times. It's just,
By the way, they did a really good job with Superman in the rebirth. Like if you're following the DC comics, they
uh,
retconned after the Flashpoint paradox that happened in the New
yeah,
52,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
moved towards rebirth, where the entire comic arc, like that we had Batman Metal and
yeah.
whatever the
Like the Batman who laughs and all that
yeah,
stuff.
and the Godspeed and Flash was actually introduced in
Yeah,
rebirth, and it
I really
actually
like Godspeed, by the way. Like I think his character is really cool.
dude, yeah, even I like him. But that I don't want to spoil anything. But the Rebirth comic arc, like the entire comic, the all of the comics in the Rebirth and the story arc, it all revolved around Superman. So like they paid homage to the Superman character very good, nicely. So like if you want to follow up on the Rebirth stories or like it's a very good read because they do a very good job with bringing Superman back into his original light. So that is something that you all should watch out or read if you all have time.
Honestly, like I think that the whole Superman, the ideology that he originally encompassed, and now that what they are showing, like the true spirit of his whole thing is like he knows he has the power to completely change everything, destroy everything, and all that, but like he doesn't, and the whole aspect that they show with him and the way they are handling it now, I think they are doing a good job, especially like to show that he's not like some kind of menacing entity that's here to take advantage of us or whatever. It's like he's doing it because he doesn't consider himself as an alien or anything like that. He is human, and that's what is his most technically his strongest trait. No matter what you want to argue, like that's technically supposed to
Yeah,
be like. So I think they're doing a good job with the whole idea
and
of
in
that.
and in the DCU also, like as you said, like he's such like a godlike figure, but he has such human vulnerability.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's one area where DCU did a very good job.
Yeah,
But
but wasn't like Rebirth supposed to have like the Dr. Manhattan thing where he's the one who's technically created
Doctor
the
Manhattan is also there, but
universe?
Superman is connected to it in a very big way.
Yeah, like he's the one who's. I remember because I remember like the whole scene of Flash going on the treadmill. That what's it called? I'm forgetting the name of
I
that specific.
yeah.
The
Um,
whole scene with him going to to the Batcave, and in 3 seconds, like the whole thing happening, where like in the comic, where they get to know technically, man, there's someone who's looking after and is watching over the universe and is actually the creator, and you get to know later that it's Doctor Manhattan of all people.
yeah, but Rebirth is like a separate universe, and
Yeah.
but yeah, like what do you think? Like, do you think the Suicide Squad is going to continue after James Gunn? Do you think? I
Uh,
think it will because seeing the BTS only, I am thinking like
he
James
might he
Gunn
might
is
like have a plan
passionate.
for it further, right? They might give him more movies with Suicide Squad. To be fair.
Dude, and the fact that one of the characters, Rick Flag, I don't know, Joel Kinnaman, the one who plays Rick Flag, he said
Huh.
they don't get too attached. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
are they gonna kill
Yeah.
all of them in the end?
I hope no. I mean, they could, it'll be a funny where everybody is changing. Like every time there's a new Suicide Squad where the movie is coming out, which is fucked as well.
According to me, what is gonna happen? There are these bunch of obscure characters and all of that
Yeah.
shit. I think according to me, all those side villains and all the small villains like John Cena's Peacemaker and that Javelin with that yellow suit. I think what's
Bro.
gonna happen and that in the end,
Yeah.
these useless villains are gonna decide that they are going to be used as decoys and they know they're gonna get killed and they are gonna make like
Yeah.
a like they're not needed, so why not just die? I
Yeah.
think they
Like
will get
like a
and people
last
are
ditch
gonna
effort from their side. They'll go for it. And die in the process. But honestly, like I think Javelin is such a stupid like superhero. Oh, sorry,
dude,
supervillain. Oh
John
my
Cena's
god.
Peacemaker is such a stupid. All of the
Yeah.
characters are stupid.
Wait, like, are you talking about the John Cena?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the John Cena.
He's in there? What?
Yeah, Suicide
dude, what have
Squad.
you been listening till now? You went off.
I was like, कोई John Cena होगा DC वाला. I'm like, ये अपना है बंदा.
अपना अपना
Like
ही
this guy
बंदा ब्रो,
from
एक ही you can't see me वाला John
अपना
Cena.
Ferdinand.
I think you didn't see him in the trailer Z because
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, he's in Suicide Squad 2.
it's supposed to be called the Suicide Squad. It's like kind of like a
Those,
retcon.
so
Damn.
original one was called Suicide Squad. This is called the Suicide Squad. It's basically the
Acha,
Facebook.
that makes a lot of difference, yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to retcon the original Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which I
the
can understand why.
Idris Elba is playing Bloodsport. Do you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what did he do? He shot
What?
Superman with a kryptonite bullet,
Oh my god.
and they
I
threw him
mean,
in jail. That's his
his whole
arc.
thing is like he likes to Bloodsport. You can tell by the name, right? He likes to hunt,
Hunt for.
basically. Yeah.
They throw him in jail in the comics just because he shot a kryptonite bullet on.
Yeah.
And I hope they do that in this movie as well. While they introduce that, while introducing, they say he shot Superman, so that's why he's in jail.
But it's that's why.
इसके सीवी पे लिखना चाहिए उसको, मैं
हाँ ना,
सुपरमैन
मतलब
को
मैंने
गोली
मैंने
मारा था.
सुपरमैन को थोड़ा बहुत प्रॉब्लम दिया, उसको हर्निया दिया
हाँ
अंदर
सर,
से.
कुछ जॉब है क्या अपने पास सर? कुछ भी चलेगा अपने को. डेटा
No,
एंट्री वेटा एंट्री सब कुछ चलेगा.
हाँ. Like the best part is like I don't know, it'll be a funny thing, like I gave Superman a hernia with a freaking kryptonite bullet.
कुछ तो किया, मैं
कुछ
कुछ
तो
तो
किया.
उखाड़ा. It's something.
But
yeah, but the Suicide Squad is like
yeah.
an overkill, man. It's like
It's a good time for Suicide Squad because that and then the game both are coming out. So
Dude, have you played the game, the first one?
what
Or is this the first game of the
what
Suicide
no,
first
Squad?
this is the first game. The first game.
Okay.
मतलब
मेरे को
इतना
लगा इसके
कॉन्फिडेंस
पहले
से
वाला
तो
भी
बोला
गेम ही
ना,
है.
तो जो
हाँ, तू हिल गया 2 मिनट के लिए. बोला, अरे बाप रे, ये क्या सीन है?
ये क्या है.
ये क्या
Dude,
सीन है dude?
talking about the games, dude. The game trailer was fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. Like,
The
dude.
Suicide Squad trailer was so funny.
Abhishek, what about you? Where do you game on? What's your
I
console of
don't
choice?
play games because like my like
he,
I want to play video games, but my father is kind of like he's very opposed towards video games. I don't get the
yeah,
chance to
Fair.
buy. Like That
Right.
that video game is one area where my father has the call.
So
Yeah,
I was
he's the
gonna make
last
the
one.
joke that like Dath Mulga just straight up gets to the point and doesn't like to play games on the side because of Let's Get Uncomfortable. But then
Yep.
you kind of went with the father route, and then we already
Yeah.
we got there.
No, dude, same here. My console of choice is YouTube because I be watching gameplays all day long.
Dude, same ditto. I watch gameplays too, but
Dude, और मैं तो रेट्रो में जी रहा हूँ. मैं
I
Dangerous
also
Dave,
watch gameplay on
Wolfenstein,
YouTube. I'm with you guys there.
Duke Nukem,
like
Quake,
I'm a
Unreal
I'm
Tournament.
a gamer just by seeing gameplays. Like I'm not
बस हाँ, मैं गेमर हूँ. मैं भी गेमर.
Arey, but
मैं इन्फ्लुएंसर, मैं
so
गेमर.
one of the things I like to do is again, I don't know why we are moving away from this topic again, but just
Why not?
before we get
अपना
back to
podcast
it,
है.
like I like to play a game myself and then see how another person plays it because everybody has a different way of playing the
Gaming
same
style.
game.
Yeah,
And
you certainly saw me playing Spider-Man, and there was nothing aspirational there.
Dude, I saw the Spider-Man gameplay for PS4. Oh fuck, it was. I saw the entire thing.
bro,
I see it as a movie.
honestly,
Apparently,
like
gameplay as
Same
a
here.
movie.
Same here. I would rather watch gameplays than movies because they tell much better stories, anyways.
dude, if y'all wanna play Spider-Man, y'all are free to come over like after COVID. Well,
हाँ,
and
ऐसा temptation मत दे तू.
and play at my place. Definitely, like let's
Dude, for sure,
You might
man.
we
have
can
to
do
start
that.
charging us, man. You might have to start charging us because I'm not gonna leave the house.
Dude, ये best business है हाँ. सीधा PS, PlayStation,
PlayStation पे खेलना,
PlayStation 2, 1
PlayStation
hour,
पे
100
खेलने
rupees.
God of War भी खेलना है
PC,
बताना. But
POW.
getting back to games, Suicide Squad kind like I like the trailer, but again, Superman with the end reveal. How is it that it's always that same thing?
Honestly, I liked it. Honestly, I
Uh,
liked it. Like the trailer. Oh, and it's Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. So apparently they haven't
yeah.
shown the other Justice League members being evil.
Dude, it'll be fun. I think so they are also supposedly like mind controlled and all that, na, right now, Justice League.
Yeah, by Brainiac, one and
Yeah, by
only.
Brainiac. Which is gonna be a very interesting story. Like I feel like I wanna see Flash having a fight with these people. I don't know why I always love the character of Flash. So I wanna see like the Suicide Squad take on the Flash.
I
That
don't
would be
have
fun.
hope for Suicide Squad if only those four members are in the game.
Yeah, like I highly doubt they can beat these people. I love King Shark's like dialogues in that trailer. Huh?
Dude, his face looks very weird. I didn't like his
Yeah,
face, man. His face was too small, man.
but he's a very big Superman stan, bro. Like, how can you not like? Oh my god,
Dude, the fact
that
that
was
when
so
he said
funny.
that, the
But yeah, his
mighty
face doesn't look
Superman
the
has
best.
failed,
I
the
think
mighty
they could have
Superman
done
has
better.
failed. Yeah, but the fact that the King Shark says the mighty Superman has saved the pilot, showing him fans going over.
Yeah, like he's a full-on stan,
Dude,
which is amazing.
if you see the trailer, fuck, Deadshot got a jetpack.
Oh yeah, dude.
And the
I
villain has the speed force because seeing the trailer, he was moving like Flash.
So I think it might be like something special na, in that way. Like they might have made it specifically to counteract if the Flash like goes rogue or something like that. Maybe I don't know. I wonder how that's like. I honestly that and then even Batman. Like if Batman goes rogue, and if like how do they counter the Batman? Like when he has the counter for everyone himself.
I think what the storyline for this movie is going to be. I think Brainiac apparently steals all the plans from Batman, the contingency plans, and then he controls all of them. And Batman is the first member of Justice League to get out of mind control, and him and Suicide Squad together do it.
Could be.
Halfway through the game, I think that's gonna happen. I
That
think
could happen. That could. I mean, because it's difficult to see like when Batman has a contingency for everyone. How does he like? How do the Suicide Squad tackle him? And the Suicide Squad isn't that smart. They're crazy, but they aren't smart. So, who knows? Who knows?
the
That's
fact that Harley Quinn plainly said to Superman, "We are on a secret assassination meeting."
yeah,
Secret assassination mission says how
yeah.
smart they are.
Yep, exactly. but like that's I don't know, that game whenever it comes out, I think it'll be really really fun and really interesting
Dude,
to
I really
see
love the
how it works
music
out.
choice for that game. It was apparently an
Yeah,
Outkast track. It really got me pumped up for the game. I don't know, like the
dude,
music.
agreed, man, agreed. Like honestly, that so the funny thing is like the tone of the two game trailers that they've released is so different because while Suicide Squad it pumps you up and makes you like completely into that story of like, oh my god, we are going to be these crazy ass characters. Then comes the whole trailer of Gotham Knights, where it's just like serious. It starts off with a very big announcement, uh, like with apparently Bruce Wayne or Batman having been killed, and now,
What?
yeah.
What? What the fuck?
That
Yeah,
trailer
and it's
starts like
not
that.
connected to the Arkham universe.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I think they said that it's not connected to
No,
the
it's
Arkham
it's
universe.
not connected because
But this is like one of those fake deaths, right? Where he'll eventually like मैं
I
वापस
think
आ
I
गया
think he's
हूँ.
going to be a talent. I think they're going the court
yeah,
of owls gets a hold of him. He's going to
yeah.
be a talent.
So I love the whole quote, the way they showed the coat of owls ka saying also, like the way that
The child's voice was so scary. It was so eerie and scary, man. The child's voice was so scary and eerie.
yeah, that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadow perch behind granite and lime. My God, what a and then that whole time. It looks scary as fuck. It looks intriguing, and I want to play. I can't wait to play that game.
When
Honestly,
when is the game coming out? When are the games? Do they have release dates or it's still spec?
uh, I think it's
I
not.
don't think they gave a
Yeah,
date.
they didn't give a date.
Okay.
I don't think they gave a date.
Do that anticipation must make you go wild, yeah. When especially when the game's like slotted for a year later or
So,
something, then
so
like
I
fuck, मैं
think
कैसे रुको इतना?
one of the things that really gets me excited about this specifically is like if you have I don't know if you have seen the old Arkham games.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you what are your thoughts on the whole DC universe games?
So Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. I've played two out of those three. I've not played Arkham Knight, but like I really love playing those two games. It really gets you immersed. They've done a really good job with that. They have
Dude,
some other games like
I've watched the
Injustice and all
gameplay
that.
for the Arkham. I watched the gameplay for the Arkham games. All the Arkham. I
Yeah.
even watched Arkham Knight. Dude, the suspense is gonna kill you.
So it's so good. I like honestly, I want to play Arkham. Like, is Arkham Knight really good? Should I play it or not? That's my question.
Dude, the story itself is very good. I think you should play it just for the story. I loved the story.
Dude, only one way to find out, my friend. Only one way to find
To
out.
Do
You
play.
you
have
want
to
to,
play it.
do you want me to give you the spoiler?
No, don't. I don't wanna. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know the identity behind who the knight is. So,
Identity नहीं चाहिए
Dude,
मेरे
the
को.
हाँ.
fact that in Gotham Knight we can play all the side characters, like
Like I think I'll check it out. I'll definitely check. But like the same studio is making Gotham Knights, right?
yeah,
Like
it is Rocksteady.
the fact that yeah, the fact that that's happening makes me even more excited. Even though it's not related to the same universe, like I can't wait to play that game. Oh,
Any of the mobile games do justice on Android or iOS?
Injustice,
Injustice is there. Injustice is there, I guess.
which is funny because Injustice does do justice to the. I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game.
I like the wordplay. But the fact that in Gotham Knight we get to play all these side characters, like Red Hood, like
Yeah.
and the Nightwing and like the Batgirl, and
Uh,
I forgot who was the
Batgirl. Yeah.
Robin. Is it Damian Wayne or is
Uh,
it the third Robin?
I thought it was Damian Wayne, but some people said otherwise. Like people were like it's
Like it's Drake. I forgot
Tim
the name.
Drake.
Tim Drake.
Tim
Tim Drake.
Drake. I think it's supposed. Apparently, it's Tim Drake. I thought it was Damian Wayne. Like honestly, with the hood and everything, it looked like Damian Wayne. I don't know.
But yeah, like DC is doing a good job overall. Like they're coming
Yeah.
back with movies. Plus, DC always has done a good job with comics, shows, and their games. That's done and said.
One
In
the
Marvel
one
can't
part they've
step there.
always excelled with is the comics. Yeah, for sure.
Marvel is also coming into games. It's like DC is trying to match Marvel with the movies, and Marvel is trying to match DC with their games and other properties.
To But the funny thing is, like, Marvel to an extent now have apparently, like, there's comics and the storylines in their comics have improved so much over the past 10-15 years. It's
Yeah, the fact that
crazy.
they learned from the MCU movies, it happened the
Yeah,
opposite. It's always like, the stories are taken from the comics, inspiration is drawn from the comics.
yeah.
But what's happening in Marvel is they're drawing inspiration from the movies.
Dude, like, honestly, it's a very good time to be a comic book nerd, or rather a geek in this whole scenario.
Do either of y'all collect comic books? Do you have a collection?
I had a collection. I don't know where. I
Uh-huh.
think I probably gave it to my brother. But I
Oh,
had,
Or
like, during my school, I used to study in Don Bosco in Borivali. So
huh.
okay.
there was apparently a newspaper stall a few kilometers near my school, and
I mean, you say
Mhm.
apparently you should know if you went there.
yeah,
He's just being humble.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
I didn't know this actually happened. Like, there was this newspaper stall, and after, like, there is this parents' day meeting or something. Like, after that,
Huh.
me and my mom
Yeah.
were walking towards home, and we found like a newspaper stall near the school. My mom had to buy
Huh.
something, and when I saw the newspaper stall, there were actually X-Men comics, Daredevil comics, Spider-Man comics there. My first
Oh, damn,
Oh
purchase was
fuck.
a
dude.
Daredevil comic. I
Damn, that's
remember it
very
very
cool.
vividly. I had a Daredevil comic. I had also bought a Spider-Man comic. That Chacha, like that newspaper, Chacha had those comics.
That
Jeez,
is so cool. And
jeez,
this
I'm
was like
jealous.
what 10 years ago. That is insane.
And if you want to read comics, my friend, like my friend is selling comics on rent. Like
Oh, wow,
That is such
wow,
a
that's
cool
nice.
concept. We need more
let
of
me
that.
bring his account. He's on Instagram.
Dude, we will give him a shout out.
He's on
We'll give him a
Yeah,
shout
Instagram.
out
He's
for
called
sure.
comic book underscore rental, and he's also a
nice. Okay,
comic book nerd and a fellow geek of mine. And
nice.
he
Insane.
rents out comics, and he has, and you know which
How does
comic
he
does he
trust
have?
people with comics? Like, doesn't he worry that his comics might, like, get manhandled by people?
I mean, I've bought three comics for him, and I've also handled it very well. It's like it's for those nerds, who want who
Right.
read
Yeah,
comics.
yeah.
Like, it's not for
Be very
everyone. And
careful
do you
of
know
who.
which comic does he have, Ayushman? He has the Batman Who Laughs comic.
Oh, damn. You know what? I might hit him up. I really wanna check it out.
He's
But
called
is he
Comic.
doing like the rental thing right now?
Dude, yeah, is it on? Is it still on?
Yeah, he's still on. He's
Is it
comic
still
book
on? Is he still?
underscore
That's
rental,
insane.
comic book underscore rental
Uh,
on Instagram,
comic
and he
underscore.
apparently, like, he
Okay.
also does other things as well. Like, he hosts a weekly quiz also on his Instagram page, and I always
Nice.
get the
That's
bonus
damn cool.
question wrong. Like, there is like these he asks three questions, and after which, if you get all those
Uh,
three right, you can ask him like a bonus question, and if you get that right, you get some discount on renting comics. So the bonus
That is so
questions
cool.
are so fucking tough. Like, it's even tough for geeks like me. Like, and I always lose. I always lose the bonus question because it's so tough.
I'll
So
check
yeah,
it
like,
out
you
for
should
sure.
follow comic book underscore rental.
Yeah.
Like, he has a lot of good comics. He has vintage comics as well as the new ones.
Dude, talking of
Nice.
vintage comics, do you know my dad had like an entire collection of old Phantom comics
Ooh.
and the old Tintin ones. And he
My
just,
dad had it, dude. My dad doesn't know where is it.
dude, one day I woke up and I saw the Raddiwala leaving. That's what happened. My dad said, हाँ अभी पुराना हो गया, दे दिया.
I wish I knew that.
Again.
I wish I knew to keep those
Fuck.
comics.
Can you believe a bada full size carton of Tintin and Phantom comics just gone in the dust?
You know,
That's how he gave away my original PSX console as well. One day
Oh,
he said, हाँ
why?
पुराना हो गया ना
Why?
अपन नया ले लेंगे. Dude, this is the PSX. I don't even know if that's the correct word I'm using, but जो छोटा वाला PS1 था ये उसके पहले वाला
Yeah,
grey
like
वाला PS
there
था.
was one that came before that. Yeah.
Fuck, it was. I used to play games like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and like,
oh god,
you
dude,
know,
you're giving memories, nostalgia.
full nostalgia
I
happening. And dude, एक दिन दे दिया बे रद्दी वाले को कौन देता है?
actually gave away my PSP and DS to my brother. I didn't throw it away, but
Yeah, like passing it forward is such a better way to do things.
Yeah.
dude, but I don't know where are my comics. I remember I had X-Men, I had Daredevil, and I had Spider-Man. I don't know
Man,
where is
dude.
it.
Wow.
Damn.
So you mostly read digital comics these days?
I read. I don't immerse myself entirely into comics.
Manga.
I've read the
Manga.
Makes
Rebirth.
sense.
I've read Injustice full, the Justice League
Okay.
Injustice. Sorry, DC
Yeah.
Injustice. I've read Rebirth ka Flash ka volumes and the Batman Metal because it like I only read selective series because which
Fair.
catches my
Mhm.
eyes because I don't have the time to read the entire
Yeah.
thing because it's very
Makes
It's a
sense.
very like big commitment to really get into the whole storylines as well because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
long,
Dude,
dude.
anybody remember the Batman animated series?
Yeah, that
Oh God.
I had a flashback of that series while watching the Pattinson trailer, man.
Yeah.
Oh
Honestly, it
damn. I
does
just remember the
look
whole
like that.
jingle bells, Batman smells,
Yeah,
Robin laid an egg.
Robin lays an
Fuck.
egg, huh?
Dude, the first episode of introducing Joker, they did
Yeah.
such a good job. Fucker
Also,
sits
Mark
on a
Hamill
rocket
plays
and
the Joker in that, huh?
he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
the Jedi
That is so he voices him as well. Fuck it. That old I remember when last year only I got super nostalgic and I downloaded the Batman animated series and I was like, fuck, this is so much nostalgia right there. You know, like the Batman animated series and then watching the Star Wars ka Clone Wars ka chota episodes that used to come and stuff and then Ed and Eddie
Arey,
and
yeah,
just like going bizarre
this
as
is a
fuck.
separate episode.
Yeah. At
Dude,
this
but
point, like,
मतलब Ed and Ed या मतलब दो बार Ed बोल दिया किसी को realize भी नहीं हुआ
that's
दो
why
बंदे का
D
नाम
double
Ed है
D Ed double D and
yeah
then Eddie.
no,
right what the fuck
my father apparently loves Ed and Eddie a lot. Like I remember,
Oh,
like there was this thing on Star Plus that from morning, like it happened way back. Like when it was during 2000s. At Star Plus had this morning section called Fox Kids where they used to show all these cartoons.
okay
Like it was from
Ed,
morning 8
yeah.
to 10 where they showed Spider Man, they showed SWAT Cats, X-Men cartoons and everything.
oh my god बड़े मियाँ छोटे मियाँ you
Arey,
mean
please don't tell me what it is.
बड़े मियाँ
fuck
छोटे मियाँ. Oh my god.
dude बड़े मियाँ नहीं था बड़े मियाँ था बड़े मियाँ
बड़े
छोटे मियाँ
मियाँ बड़े मियाँ और छोटे मियाँ.
like the fuck ऐसा मस्त SR-71 Blackbird लेके उड़ रहा है और
But
इज्जत भी उड़ा
talking
दी
about the
बिल्ला.
cartoons, DC had some fabulous cartoons. Like I remember watching Justice League so lovingly. Like the Batman series, the Justice League
Yeah.
Unlimited, then Batman Beyond. Do you all know Batman Beyond was a series? I remember that
Yeah, I
aspect of
remember.
the Batman Beyond series.
Yeah, dude, like I think
yeah
Batman Beyond was such a fun thing. Plus, it was like it was a very interesting take on like a normal Batman like that we had seen at the time. And oh my, that I think that series is one of my faves to watch. But original Justice League, like the whole animated series, is the good. That's what I think. That's what got us started to an extent on all of this.
DC cartoons. Do you have any faint good memories with them?
dude for me it's original Batman animated series where I think the first episode was Poison Ivy and then the second
Oh,
episode was Joker. I remember those. I think there were only 7 or 8 episodes
Yeah.
but they were done so well it just got me
you
very
know
hard
the
into
the most emotional experience I had with the Batman animated series was the whole thing with the Batman and Mr. Freeze. Oh my god, I cried so much.
oh fuck I remember being a kid weeping too
I
man
weep,
those
That's
that
I
that's a
was
weep
very
even
sad
now. Like
episode, man.
I weep
Like,
even now. Like on Instagram, I see scenes from that Mr. Freeze arc in
yeah,
the Batman series.
yeah,
Dude, it was so emotional. Like it's not always hero versus villain. Like even they showed like, the villain
yeah
had like a
correct
sad thing in his history.
correct
honestly, like I think that series genuinely will always be one of my favorite things ever to watch. With
Yeah,
like,
like
dude
all the
animated series was done so well
the
so well
the scene where Batman puts a hand on Mr. Freeze's shoulder while visiting his wife's grave. Oh my god, I cried so much.
yeah. Oh my
dude
god, dude.
some stuff like this stuff like Samurai Jacks stuff like Avatar wasn't cartoon at all like it was way
Dude,
above
have you seen the
childhood level
Samurai Jack
IQs to really
season 4?
like it I had to
Has anyone watched Samurai Jack season 4?
yeah
Bro, I did. I ended up
yeah
watching that.
dude I ended up watching the last season man there was so much I was
Hey, is the
so
last
great
season 4 or season 5?
I think it's season
Season 5,
5
yeah.
season
Oh, sorry, then
4
I'm talking about season 5 because I watched it.
yeah
They,
oh my
dude, I
god
cried
dude
in the end.
I swear,
Dude, I
man.
was just so grateful that one of my favorite cartoons that I held so close to my heart, Jendy Tadavosky came back after 10 years. He didn't have to. I'm sure they didn't make
Yeah,
any money from it, but he still did, and he did such a good job,
You know,
man. Such a good job.
he
crazy.
actually had a story for season 5, and he came back just for the love of finishing the character and giving the
Dude,
proper
I
send
mean,
off.
it's
That's
it's
what
one of
makes it
those rare
beautiful, right?
instances. Yeah, one of those rare instances where the corporation also agreed. कि
Yeah.
ठीक है, they
Hey,
knew that they
the
wouldn't make a lot of
corporation didn't
money.
agree. He had to air it on Adult Swim,
Adult Swim, yeah. It wasn't on
Acha, so corporations.
CN or anything. It was
Cartoon
on Adult
Network. It was
Swim.
not on Cartoon Network. They did it
Yeah.
on Adult Swim.
Oh, okay, I had no
But I
idea.
like the fact that Adult Swim is such like a gateway for all these animators to show that shit on.
Bro, like Rick and Morty and all that on Adult Swim is something else, man. Like honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
getting
and
back to DC
there's
fandom.
another scene in Justice League which made me so emotional. I think it was a
Uh,
scene in Justice League Unlimited where they were facing these villains that were based on our trump cards, like like the if you remember, like Batman consoles a kid who was so powerful, and she was going to die, and he was sitting with her on the swing.
like sitting on, yeah. I think her name was Spade or something. Uh,
She was a kid. I remember she was a kid.
yeah. I remember, dude. Like she had a black and white kind of dress on, and
Yeah, and the fact that
yeah,
Batman hugged her while she was dying,
yeah.
oh my god, dude, I cried.
It's quite. I think that's what like that's the part of Batman we don't get to see in like the mainstream media, to an extent, like which is what we saw in the Justice League cartoons and the Batman cartoons, where he was like a lot like he had a lot more personality than just like being that crime fighter vigilante, which is
DC animated movies are another ball game.
yeah, yeah,
If you see the Flashpoint movie, the Justice League War, oh my god, those were some
everything, dude. Oh my god.
these movies should these movies deserve like a theatrical release, like even for a limited weeks.
Agreed, man.
I
I
would love to
I I
see,
genuinely would love to see that happen.
but yeah, like, is there anything else to discuss? I think we did it all,
I
right?
think one last thing I want
Yeah,
to
we
ask you
had.
all. What is
Yeah.
that one thing that you're most excited of from DC fandom out of everything that we've spoken about?
मेरा आंसर आयुष्मान देगा. So yeah.
You must have heard something interesting, man. Answer, like,
कुछ तो अच्छा
Dude,
लगाएगा.
to be very honest, I'm actually when you talk about Gotham Knights, from what y'all spoke about it, it sounded pretty intriguing. That it's, and then y'all spoke about the game as well. I don't know if there's any connection between that and this, but from the discussions, I think Gotham Knights sounded like something that I would look
The
forward
game.
to.
So basically, like it's just a game. It's from the makers of that Arkham Asylum, Arkham series in
Okay,
general. So yeah, so
okay.
fair enough. Like I think I that is a very
Or maybe even Suicide Squad too. I know that Ayushman didn't like it as much, but I
no
really love the first
the
one. So I
first
think.
one. I mean, I'm excited for the second one. The first one I did not like.
Oh, you didn't like the first? Okay.
Yeah,
even I like the first one, but it's only a one-time watch for me.
yeah.
There were
Makes
a
sense.
couple of scenes that blew my mind. The fact that El Diablo's sacrifice was such a fucking great scene.
Oh yeah, that dude, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah, he's so
fire guy. Yeah,
brave.
That
El
character is
Diablo.
Fly.
I didn't expect that from that character, man. I thought he was just some character who has like these pyrokinetic powers and it,
I they did a good job with some things, but
yeah.
again, like that first movie, I guess it's just me who, in this case, but fair enough. Like
Yeah, sometimes things don't take. What about the both of y'all? What are y'all
What are you saying, Z?
from the fandom?
asking.
What are the both of y'all
I'm
looking forward?
excited for I'm excited for the Flash movie with Michael Keaton. They're going to
Yeah,
explore the multiverse, and apparently,
yeah.
there is a someone from these bloggers that I follow said that
Uh,
there actually might be a scene where while traveling through the multiverses, we might get scenes from the other DC movies all over. Like
Oh,
imagine Adam West's Batman being seen, like just like
bro.
passing through
Then
the
George Clooney
multiverse.
nipple Batman can be a possibility. Yes.
Even
Yeah.
They said that there might be a scene where while traveling through the multiverse, Barry Allen
Yeah.
sees all these
Yeah.
movies and all these separate universes. I'm
Yes.
very excited for the Flash movie, and I'm
I'm quite
excited.
sure it will be very cool, like Mr. Freeze would say.
Yeah,
Oh
and
god.
the Flash movie, and then I'm excited for the Snyder Cut. What's gonna happen after the Snyder Cut?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for
Fair.
these two things.
Fair. I think for me, I would say Gotham Knights is like something that's really caught my eye. But other than that, like Batman with Robert Pattinson, like that trailer, I think I've watched it way too many times at this point, and
Have you
I
found it?
just
I've watched it at least 20 times by now.
yeah. Like I think that movie I have so many hopes for. I just don't want to like I don't want it to be too high as well because like I know that the movie might not live up to it, but my God, it does it look crazy and do I want to watch it now? Like oh fuck, I
No,
can't wait.
I forgot to mention even the Batman movie I'm excited about. I think it's going to
Yeah,
live up to the expectations. And just
yeah.
imagine what if the Flash interacts with the Pattinson Batman? Oh my God!
Dude, amazing. That would be crazy. I can't. That would be cool. Honestly, like Flashpoint, I hope they do. The Flash is like one of my favorite superheroes to ever watch. I genuinely watched the CW series of the Flash as well, and
Yeah, same, big fan.
like I can't wait to watch all
You
that.
know, Ezra Miller is apparently in a very controversial situation. I
Why?
There was what physically abused a fan. Like he kind of choked.
What?
Dude, you have to check this out. Like this happened in Scandinavia. I think in Norway. You have to check this out.
Oh fuck.
He got a lot of public shame for this, and there was some news that DC was going to remove him from the Flash movie and from the character, but they are back apparently. You should really read about it. Like he was in
Yeah.
a
Okay. I need to check that out.
he
That's
was in a
funny.
very big scandal or controversy. He choked a
Damn.
he choked a fan. If I
He
remember
choked
it
a fan.
correctly.
My God, why?
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know. But yeah, that's why it was like it was kind of
fuck.
sidetracked. But they are apparently back with the Flash, so I'm
Right.
happy. So
I
yeah,
mean, I guess I'll have to check it out to really know. But
there is one hope I have for I wish DC continues with the continuity, man. I want them to
yeah,
go with the continuity because it's good to have all these separate universes and perspectives, but to like the
yeah.
continuity has a different thing. Like if you see the MCU, it's a different feeling, man.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, dude. Like honestly, like if they can if they genuinely continue with the storyline and can actually like revamp it and get it back like to its original track and maybe like build it up a little more, that whole it'll be crazy. It'll be amazing to watch. But it's a hope we can have. Can't say if it'll happen, but hey, like let's hope for the best. But yeah, I think we've spoken for 2 hours, man, about this. Yeah, it's literally like at the 2 hour mark. It's this one's a long one.
This is Harry Potter level
This
Yeah,
is
series,
this
which
is
is
like the
damn good.
Snyder cut. Like this is like the Sheeples cut.
the sheep's
Sheeple's cut
cut.
full.
This was a lot of fun, dude. Thank you for joining us.
It
And
was damn awesome. I had a great time spectating
yeah.
and learning a lot. But it was so cool to see both of y'all just go out on a leg and have a ball. It's nice to see when two
I mean,
passionate people come together.
okay, since you were spectating, in a way you were listening to us do the podcast, did you understand
Yeah, it
anything
felt
we
like this is
spoke
what
about?
it feels like to listen
It
to a
was like a
podcast.
classroom, man. I think it was like a classroom for Z.
Full. I'm
Yeah.
like अभी मैं सीख रहा हूँ अभी back to school scenes हो रहा है.
Oh my God. But this is
But yeah, I had a
honestly
very good
like
time, man.
for the sheeples listening, like please do check out Darth Murga. He has some really amazing like not only like creatives that he puts out on his profile, but like his podcast that he's working on. He has some really cool stuff planned, which I remember having a call with him about, and I can't wait for him to start that project. But other than that, like Let's Get Uncomfortable is such a good idea and such a good like initiative as a podcast. Y'all definitely should listen to him. And honestly, can't wait to get uncomfortable with you, dude, on your pod.
That sounds very wrong, but
Yeah,
Very
that
wrong.
sounds very wrong.
Okay, well,
I'm I don't mind saying it though. Can't wait.
yeah, but
That'll be
thank
fun.
you for inviting me. I was after fandom. I only messaged Ayushman. I
Yeah.
just said because I was tripping, and this might be a good thing also. So I was very excited to be here because I I haven't seen all the episodes of the Sheepers, but I've seen 60% of it, and my favorite was Harry Potter. As before the podcast, me and Ayushman were talking. The Harry Potter I listened the entire, like all the two parts, the 2 hours. I guess it was 2 hours, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
listened to the
correct.
Three
entire thing.
episodes. Yeah. Oh, dude,
That
thank
is
you
so
so
nice to
much.
know, man.
Yeah,
Such
yo.
And the
feels.
episode with Varshini, I liked that also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was more like a let's get uncomfortable kind of,
Yeah,
that was the vibe.
direction.
yeah. But yeah, I was very excited. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me a platform to trip out and geek out.
Dude, 100%. I hope we can soon get the platform to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Again, that
soon.
sounds wrong again.
Sit back, relax at Cinemax, get uncomfortable.
Arey,
Yeah, like
literally.
I would love to have you all on Let's Get Uncomfortable when I find a very suitable topic for us to discuss about. But,
For
but
sure.
yeah, like I had a good time, man. It was finally, I had this pent up energy inside me that I just released out,
Yeah.
and now I can breathe again.
Yes, dude, same. I understand that feeling. Finally getting to talk about it for so long. It was so much fun. And yeah, I think we shall see you next week, but we'll be putting out a lot of content around DC fandom for this week. I hopefully you know what? Let's do a quiz as well. You want to set
Oh,
up a
dude,
quiz,
I
Abhishek
would, dude,
or
oh shit,
Dathmuga, rather?
what are you doing, man?
We can do something this weekend about it. Uh, but yeah, anyway, so this was fun. We shall see you guys soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sheeples.
Goodbye.